Welcome back to Basel, Switzerland. We're here for the World Men's Curling Championship 2016. Basel features a great old town, all of it on the heritage sites of national significance. The River Rhine runs through here, starting out in the southwestern Swiss Alps before emptying out in the North Sea in Netherlands. We're all gathered a stone's throw away from Germany and France in the St. Jakobshalle, the arena that has hosted great tennis stars, the European Handball Championship, and even a Bob Dylan concert. Tonight won't feature any music, but roaring sounds from the ice and perhaps some Alphorn tunes from the stands. For this morning draw, we've got a big one for you. It's Canada and Norway facing off on Sheet D. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by my Scottish superstar, Logan Gray. Good morning.
Good morning, Sander. Very kind words again.
Norway dropping 2 games yesterday to Japan and the United States. Canada losing out to Sweden yesterday, their first loss. So both teams coming off losses. It'll be interesting to see how the teams respond. Any thoughts, Logan?
Well, first of all, Sander, I don't think there's I was kind of saying yesterday that there's not many teams in the field who are actually quite comfortable in beating Canada, and I think Norway are one of them.
We'll have team lineup for Norway. At lead, Håvard Wald Pettersson. At second, it's Kristoffer Sva. Third player and vice skip for the Norwegians, Torgeir Nergård. And the team is skipped as usual by Thomas Ulsrud. Markus Høiberg, the alternate, and Paul Trulsen, coach.
And the Canadians, led by Ben Hebert. Second player, Brent Lang. Third player, Mark Kennedy. And the skip, Kevin Cooey, alternate Scott Pfeiffer, and coach John Dunn.
Taking a look at the standings so far, we'll see Canada very much at the top. Norway at 6-3, dropping 2 games yesterday, and we have a bunch of teams at 6-3: Denmark, Japan, Norway, Sweden, United States. So they're all battling it out for playoff spots. Finland and Scotland, Switzerland at 4-5, probably having a tough time getting to the playoffs. Russia at 2-7, Germany and Korea at 1 win. It's all about the Olympic points, though, so every win will count. It's all about getting the highest ranking as possible with this World Men's Championship, and next year it's all about accumulating points to qualify for the Olympics in Pyeongchang 2008. The other games this morning, we'll have on Sheet A, Scotland and Denmark. On Sheet B, Russia, Finland, and Korea, USA will face off on Sheet C, and we'll make sure to keep you up to date on what's happening elsewhere. Although our eyes will mostly be focused on this is a very exciting matchup between the 2 big superstars, Thomas Ulsrud and Kevin Cooey. Team's just getting ready here at the moment with some practice slides. Just waiting for the music to fade out, and then we'll get started. Important for Norway to pick up a win today, Logan?
Yeah, I think a Norwegian win would be huge, and you could almost feel their frustration after their loss last night against Japan. 2 losses in 1 day after going 6-1, only dropping a game to Scotland otherwise. But Norway on good form in recent encounters against Canada at World Championships. Won their last 4 outings against Canada in the 2014 and 2015 edition of this championship. But you never can write off this Kevin Cooey team. Been the best team so far this week.
Just taking a look at the stone colours to confirm it is Norway throwing the red stones. Canada will throw the yellow. Seeing Canada outdraw Norway in the pre-practice last stone draw. They will have the last stone, and it's lead Håvard Wald Pettersson to throw the first stone of this game, and I believe we are looking for a centre guard.
One thing is for sure here, we can expect a lot of stones in play. Both these teams favour an aggressive game. Didn't see a huge amount of scoring in the game between Kevin Kui's Canadian side and Sweden yesterday. The first 5 ends were blanked. We're hoping that doesn't happen again this morning.
Well, there were 6 blank ends, but there were surely a few stones in play, though.
Yeah, it was actually a very high quality game. The scoreboard didn't fully reflect the shots that were made, and there was some terrific run back doubles and huge takeouts played by both teams that resulted in the blank ends. So I mean, it may even be a slight contrast of styles here today, in that Tom Solskjaer and this Norwegian side really favoured to play the touch shots, the draws, the tap backs, whereas the Kevin Kui side there extremely effective with the big weight.
Well, this draw by Pettersson will stay in the open. So Ben Hebert, lead for Canada, will be able to come after it, play a little hit and roll here. Surely could have swept that one. It seemed like there's been a lot of talk about the sweeping, obviously, about how a fresh pad, an unused pad, will have a lot more, will be a lot more efficient. And it seemed to me like they didn't want to sweep that rock, almost to keep the pads fresh. Can we see teams actually trying to do that to keep their pads efficient for the last few ends?
Yeah, it's certainly a big consideration this week is the pads and the wear on them. Generally, the teams will have 4 pads out there. That's the limit that's been put on them, and they will rotate them to use them at the most effective times. Definitely, they'll want to make sure they keep at least 1 fresh pad towards the second half of the game. So you'll probably see a lot of passing around of brushes through this draw 15.
We've seen 2 draws under curl on this side, as well as Ben Hebert's little hit and roll actually rolled out. So seems like this might be running quite straight on them here. So Kevin Kui would have needed to adjust the ice, and I think he's done that. Brent Lang, second for Canada, makes a great little hit and flop in behind the center guard. He's been quite solid all week. Just to remind you of the rules of play. Initially we are playing 10 ends, but you have to play 6 ends minimum. 38 minutes of thinking time per team. And if you're ever in trouble or need some extra time, you can always call that timeout of 60 seconds and bring down your alternate player or coach. In the very back, you will see the timers and the red and yellow clocks up there. All depending on how aggressive a game we'll see. A very aggressive game might leave them with little time to spare. But I believe maybe Canada against Sweden yesterday, they had a little bit of time left on the clocks, playing a lot of takeouts and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't as much of a concern as it has been in the past, but even still, it was a little bit tight for the Canadians.
Yeah, well, you're not getting penalized for throwing draws anymore. We used to feature the playing time just a few years ago, where obviously a draw shot would take a lot longer to get there than the takeout. But your time clocks will stop as soon as you pass the tee line in your slide. So all the time we're seeing now, this stroke from third player Torgeir Nergård, it's not taken into consideration. So you're only spending time while thinking. Ergo, that's why it's called thinking time.
Yeah, we definitely don't want teams to be penalised for choosing to throw draws, so definitely a welcome change of rules in the game.
Makes a very nice head and roll there, the Norwegian third, and it's third player for Mark Kennedy to play the run back. We've seen him make a few of these in the past. But this one will over curl, leaving one red stone in the house. I wonder if Norway might just peel the guard here. No. Keeping it aggressive, coming I think halfway around the corner. What are the Norwegians trying to achieve with this draw?
Well, they don't have the last stone here in the first end, so clearly a great outcome for them would be to force Canada just to score one here. They're not really in a position to steal. They could peel the corner guard here if they wanted to play super safe and get through the first end, but quite late in the end. And they know that by coming in, Canada don't have a huge amount of time to generate a deuce around that corner guard. That one maybe just drifting a little bit further in than they would have liked.
So by playing that draw, we might just have a score here in the first end, as Mark Kennedy will follow that red stone down and try and freeze it.
Line's a little tight. Line's fine, line's fine. Line's good. Weight's close. How's the weight? Line's good.
Certainly Mark Kennedy and Ben Hebert playing front end for the Kevin Martin rink, winning the Olympic gold medal in 2010. They had a great record against this Norwegian team. I believe Thomas Ulsrud barely won games against that Kevin Martin team.
That's okay. We don't care about that. You don't have to come back, I think. It's okay. It's okay for all of us.
So I believe that was the umpire just coming on the ice, just warning the teams about directional sweeping. As the rule is, you should finish sweeping side to side, but I believe the teams aren't too worried about it, so they don't want to start discussing the sweeping too much. You want to keep focused on the game, so just leaving it be.
Well, I think Canada just made that one over curl a little bit, and Norway is still lying 2 here. Going to split the rings again.
Thomas Ulsrud, skip for Norway, and he's 44 years old now, becoming a veteran. Certainly has a great resume. He was the one to lose out to Canada when Ben Hebert and Mark Kennedy won that gold medal in 2010. Also winning the World Championship in Beijing 2 years ago.
Yeah. Too flat?
What do you like? I think it's too flat.
I'm thinking either the hit and roll in front or your shot. Your shot.
I gotta get.
You'd have to get to nose, I know. And then what's he doing?
Unless I did something like this.
They do something like that too.
What do you have of that?
Half? No. A third, maybe? Not quite half.
That's it. Is it there? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's definitely there. Or this, Kev.
Just playing in front of him. No, I got lots of this. I mean, if I can roll right in front and maybe he blasts, right? Control.
Play the flat roll. Play the roll.
It's just a straight roll. You're not going to stick that for second, but stick it in the rings.
Okay, half control.
Half rock.
I've looked at a few options here, but potentially making a double off that red furthest right onto the one furthest left. Decided that was a possibly unachievable due to the angle between the two stones. So it looks like they've elected to try and make a play on that yellow stone. As you can see, not much of that yellow stone visible from the hack. They'll be looking to try and raise it onto that red stone on the tee line and roll over in front of the center red stone. Try and keep the chances of scoring 2 alive here in the first end. Kevin Cooey.
A couple of years younger than his opposing Skip, but might also be considered a veteran of the sport. He's been around for a long time. As this one will over-curl and catch the guard quite thickly. Rolls to the top 12, leaving Norway sitting 3.
Han har ikke den der, da går den utover.
Alta, det gikk rett! Kant 8! Full 8. Ja.
Gjerne full 8 hvis de klarer!
What's the ideal spot to place this one?
Well, of course, you're always trying to make your opposition's shots as difficult as possible, so I think we're looking for something around the center line. Maybe fully in the 8 foot would be ideal. That would, of course, just make things a little more complicated for Kevin Cooey to draw in to score one here in the first end. I don't think it'll be exactly what Kevin Cooey had in mind to be facing 3 or 4 with his first stone in the first end.
This one is pulling up quite short, not even close to the top 8 foot, as it's Christopher Swan working as hard as he can. That's certainly a let-off for Canada now, having a lot more room to score.
Yeah, that guard isn't really even in play for this final stone.
It's just the skipper confirming with his big boy sweeper. He was just coming out all soft. As we are down to the last stone of the first end, still a bit of pressure on Kevin Cooey having to draw against 3 here. It's a first end, draws can always be a little bit tricky, as we saw Skip Thomas just come up way short of the rings. As we see the stopwatch, the hog-to-hog split. Brent Lang working this one as hard as he can, but now letting up a little bit. So I believe they are very much in control of this hog-to-hog 14.7. Right in the button, no problem. And after 1 end of play, it is Canada leading the game 1-0. But Norway still quite happy to have forced Canada. They will now have last stone as we come back with the second end. Welcome back to the St. Jakobshalle.
Line's good. Quick spot here.
If you did oversleep a little bit this morning, I can tell you that Canada scored 1 in the first end,
Line's good.
being forced to draw against 3 Kevin Cooey. And now Canada will put the stone in the rings as they're expecting Norway to put up a corner guard. And they shall.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a real theme of the game. Both teams, anytime they have the last stone, will take quite a bit of risk to try and guarantee their score of 2 with the last stone.
This corner guard just maybe overcurling a tad. I have seen his corner guards overcurling the intern a little bit. I'm not sure if he's getting, maybe he's not getting enough ice.
Line's good. Where are you?
We're 2/3. Wait,
Roll if you can. It's got to curl a bit.
Pretty tight, Kev.
It's got to curl, guys.
Other side, Langer.
Nice and tight to the rings, Brent. Tight as it goes.
Yeah.
Tight as it goes. Hard, Brent. Hard, Brent.
Keep going. Keep
Yep.
going.
Yep. Good sweep, guys.
Canada would have probably liked to get that a little bit closer to the center line. Does leave the yellow stone in the house. Exposed for a takeout here from Håvard Vad Pedersen. Needs to be careful not to clip the top one here. Of course, the free guard zone rule in effect during lead stones. And any opposition stones in that free guard zone can't be removed until the second players are shooting.
Well, that one was almost overswept, but just enough to hang around. As you hear the region third player, Torgeir Nergård, ironically or sarcastically saying, "Sweep, Kevin." As in behind the T-line. Skips are allowed to sweep the opposition stones in behind the T-line, the back half of the house, but you've seen less of that this week. Any reason for that?
Yeah, I think we kind of mentioned about the pads before. Quite often the skips will be keeping a really sharp one that will get passed down the team for later in the game. So with them being so sharp, they can actually slow the stones down. So just by tearing up the ice and leaving debris in front of the stones, so sometimes is completely contrary to what we've known forever about sweeping, but sometimes you can actually slow the stones down.
You'll see a bit of ballet from the Norwegian team here. Just trying to figure out how to sweep this one to perfection. And this one will really bend in behind the guard.
Like this?
Yeah, chase it. Just heavy hack. Hack.
What?
Hack.
Trying to get.
That's okay.
I think this is the type of shot that's been
I see some curl here. He was
a little bit more executable
good for hack, eh?
with
Heavier than the hack I threw last time.
with the sweeping. Of course, there's tons of curl in the ice already, so coming around the guards,
Just hack.
just making that a little bit more easy. When you have a guy like Ben Hebert on the right-hand side here to try and carve it in a wee bit, certainly makes this shot possible. Actually passing the guard by a good half a rock. No directional sweeping needed for that one, really. Just enough swing on the ice. Some great ice technicians in Hans Wuttersch and Stefan Rüthlisberger to make that happen. As we hop over to sheet B, it's Aku Kausta, skip of Finland, with his last stone of the first end.
Yeah, a chance to put a couple on the board here early on. Finland still with a very slim chance of making the playoffs. They would have to win out, and look at the curl on that at the finish.
Is that a pun?
Potentially. There's a score of 2, certainly. That's what it was.
Some finish by the Finns.
One end played there. Finland 2, Russia 0.
Norway will make the little hit and roll. This one seems to be even more accessible this time for Mark Kennedy.
Clean. Yep. Whoa, whoa. Maybe hair heavy. Whoa. Bang.
Just going to roll to the back of the 8 foot. I think I just heard Ben Hebert saying, I'm not going to waste the broom. So I think they very much might be saving the brooms a little bit for later.
That's got to be in consideration, doesn't it, when you're as strong a sweeper as Ben Hebert? Sure, he could waste all of the brushes in one end if he wants to. Canada line 2 here in the second end, both back of the tee line, so I think Thomas Wilshed choosing to come around the outside. Don't be too concerned about these two yellows. Not really in any sort of a threatening position at the moment.
Bit of discussion here amongst the Norwegians as the final call is to play the outturn draw. Well, this one will slip a bit too far. Just short stone, so Canada's going to have to deal with it.
I got a third, a thick third. Solid hack. Okay.
Here you have team coach for the Canadian team, John Dunn. He'll also be coaching them at the Canadian Playdowns, also called the Briar.
Okay, control.
They also have the likes of legendary curling player Rick Lang and Scott Pfeiffer on the bench. So certainly got some experience.
Really gotta go. Hard Langer.
Oh, Brent Lang having to push hard to get this one by the guard. And just glances off. Got to say, I think Mark Kennedy been a little bit out of sorts in the last 2 or 3 games.
Well, talking about experience on the bench, here we have Paul Trulsen.
No, I wasn't, was I? No.
Legendary player. Won the Olympic gold medal in 2002. And Ogden, or Salt Lake City. And followed that up with a silver medal at the World Men's Championship just 4 weeks after in Bismarck, USA.
Yeah, when we were speaking to Paul the other day, we were talking about his job title in the Norwegian Curling Federation, and he was saying he's the Secretary General, but you can drop the Secretary. I'm the General.
Well, he's certainly running most things that's happening in Norwegian curling at the moment. He's got a lot of roles, and he's the one to pick a team to go here. And as we have an update for you on sheet C, lots of stones in play as Korea play USA, and I believe it's John Schuster with last stone.
Well, John Schuster has made some terrific shots all week and will no doubt have a highlight reel of his own when all the stones have come to rest.
Just a triple tap.
Whoa, sit, baby. Sit.
I think it was.
Shoot.
Just a bit.
Whoa, Jesus.
Whoa, what happened there?
Took a huge boosty back in.
That stone certainly spun back. Ended up being 2 for USA. Not sure if that was counting or if they were already lined to, but good start for them nonetheless.
Well, that's another miss from Canada. And Norway could elect to hit to lie 3 here. Brent Lang trying to hold it up there, over curls and jams the red. So Canada in trouble here in the second end.
And certainly the big difference between this and the previous end is Norway has last stone. As, Norway's going to actually freeze this one. Could play the hit to sit 3. They're electing to just freeze it to sit 2.
Yeah, I've got to say, I quite like this call.
I think what they're worried about here is if they make the nose hit, they're going to see a perfect hit and roll to freeze the back reds there and take the whole end away. So they're more than happy to make sure they score 2 here by playing the freeze rather than make it easier for Canada.
Yeah, and coming around that yellow centre guard as well, they're potentially just setting up a big takeout for Kevin Cooey to clear everything. So a clever call here by Norway.
Sounds pretty good here. A lot of communication all the way down as that's just going to be completely frozen onto the yellow. Perfect angle.
Yeah, they're going to do well to get that red out of there. And so much of those shots being so good and so close together is down to the sweepers. Great judge there by Vod Pettersson and Sva.
Yeah, he's still playing it.
Oh, I know, but if you can, and then it's only 3 at least, but if you make a perfect hit and roll just across center, it's like a millimeter double for 3. No?
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go on tilt just yet.
Well,
Like if he gets 3,
if
he
you're
gets
anywhere
3.
high side, it does the same thing.
Not if you bump it.
If you bump it high,
Well, okay.
no, you're right. It's an
No, it's
option.
fine.
I
It's
know,
just a way
but
harder
if I do
shot.
this, he's playing it anyways, don't
Oh,
you
for
think?
sure he is. For 3.
What do you like?
I'm okay with the freeze.
Just a reminder, the Norwegian are playing the red stones and Canada playing the yellows. Canada in a spot of trouble here, and
This is unnecessary.
damage limitation is top of the agenda here in the second end.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
We just have to roll.
Yeah. Okay, I'm all right with that, Jeff.
Which isn't easy.
Oh, I know.
If I'm drawing, though,
But Brent's right. If you don't get frozen, it's a hit for 3. If we don't get the right line.
yeah, I'm not worried about the line. I'm worried about more doing that.
Yeah.
Over curling.
Yeah. If you play the freeze, it almost has to be perfect. Kev.
Or whatever. Forward then.
Or
Well, I'm not sure if that's what you want to hear. Kevin Cooey just saying, well, whatever. Let's make this one.
play the freeze if you
I think
want.
Kevin
Make it
Cooey is
perfect. If it
wanting to
doesn't,
play the
still okay.
freeze. Mark Kennedy kind of redirecting me onto playing this little hit to give up the 2. It's important for the skip to play the shot he's most comfortable with.
Yeah, I don't think it's that he thinks it's the wrong call here. I think he's just generally annoyed with the situation.
He likes the shot.
Just by the discussion that Kevin Cooey had, and he's coming back down for another look because he's just not 100% about this.
So this is
I had
my.
you there,
That's my
right?
draw.
I did like the other one.
Remember, if we're getting it to back
Welded on, he's 4th.
4,
got to weld it on
And you're
3/4
probably
of
on
it.
this line.
It
you're
seemed like
still
the
at
front end
curl,
also
but I think we
liking
keep
the
that
first
line and
call.
finish it at the end,
So
right?
really 3 players wanting to play the hit to give up the 2. Only the skipper
Back 4, Langer.
wanting to throw the freeze, but then again he is the skip, he is the captain of the team, but
I'm thinking we get it back there and then
I
at
think
the
in many
end
ways
we'll
it seems
use
Team
it
Canada is kind of a team by committee.
Yeah.
They've been making a lot of
on the
calls
corner of it.
I think that's perfect ice.
4 voices, really.
For what I threw last
Well,
time,
that's
or
it.
a
There's so
little more?
much
No, same as
tactical
the
knowledge in this team. Everyone's got an opinion. And there is no right and wrong calls, really.
Definitely all about making your shot. As Kevin Cooey finally comes out the hack, and he will play the freeze at the back to potentially force Norway to score a 1.
Stay with it, Benny. Line's good. Line's
Bit of a miscue here, though. Could give up a big score. Ben Hebert trying to make this one go. Have they over-curled it? I don't think so. I think that's a pretty good spot. Not completely frozen, but on the corner.
Yeah, I don't think there's a double for anything more than 2 there. There is still a nose hit for 2, I would say.
It seems like they're calling down lead Håvard Pettersson. I wasn't quite aware he was the master of the angles, but maybe Paul Trilson is.
The voice of reason comes down from the hack and says, will you please just nose hit this yellow and score 2?
that's definitely different dynamics in those 2 calls. We've seen 3 of the Canadian players wanting to play the hit. Kevin Cooey saying no, we're playing the freeze. For Norway, it's basically 3 players not sure what to do, calling down the lead. Pettersson, he makes the call, they agree, then they go back. So that's the call they're going for. The guy on the left here has made the call. Skipper agrees. They will just play the hit for 1. I wonder if, even though they are playing the hit for 1, is there any chance they might just squeeze the yellow one out for score 2? Well, I think they'll try just barely. Oh, there we go. Score 2. Didn't seem to be a big problem.
Yeah, good end there by Norway. Well executed, and could have been a lot more if it hadn't been for that super freeze by Kevin Cooey.
Welcome back to Basel, Switzerland. This is the World Men's Curling Championship 2016. We've Featuring a lot of draws this week in the round robin. 17 to be exact. This one surely one of the more interesting ones, as we're really boiling down to the end of the group stage. We got Norway, Canada on sheet D. It's been an interesting game so far. We saw Kevin Cui having to draw against 3 in the first end. Played a really good freeze in the previous end to prevent Norway from scoring big. They ended up scoring 2 though. So Canada right back in the hunt, throwing up a corner guard, wanting to get some stones in play. Now I would Norway throw the center guard rather than just throw it top 4. Obviously Canada's throwing that corner guard either way. Isn't it easier to place a stone top 4 first and then put the center guard after?
Yeah, absolutely, Sander. But you know, the quality of the lead play by Vad Pettersson's so good that I don't think it really makes too much difference. So much curl on the ice as well. And a lovely draw. Just quite amusing to see Håvard in the hack there, just keeping an eye on the game next door just before he's about to pull the trigger. Always a very relaxed approach. So Ben Hebert going for the come around on the end turn here. It looks like it's got a long way to go.
Go! Right to it! Go, Mark! Go!
Good scrub.
Well, gets it far enough to get it under the cover, and this is what Håvard Vad Pettersson was looking at next door. Korea against the United States.
Yeah, it's Soyo Kim, skip of Korea. Trying to play an in-off here, it seems. Pretty much close to the board here. And as I believe that's an excellent shot to score 2. As the sweepers are almost running across the sheets over to our future one.
Yeah, it did finish with 3 red stones in the house, but unfortunately we don't use bumpers in curling. Although it might have been useful when you and I were playing. So coming around the outside again here. I believe they're trying to go past the yellow stone and maybe underneath it. Oh, just slows up. Nice shot there.
Yeah, wanting to overlap the yellow just a tiny bit there, so that red stone thrown won't be able to redirect onto the shot stone. As it lies, I think that's still possible. If Brent Lang hits the center guard first, I think that's the call here. Might get everything moving.
Well, doesn't want to hit this one higher than nose.
That's not quite what they were looking for there. Norway still lies 2, but there is a yellow stone in the house and a couple of guards up front, so Norway needing to be a bit careful.
And that shooter stone of Brent Lang's rolls over to choke off the draw around the corner guard.
Norway's going to hit the yellow stone in the house here to lie 3. Get an update for you on sheet A. Scotland playing Denmark. Big game for both teams. Denmark having a great week so far at 6 wins. Tom Brewster has had a few games slip away from him. This is a last stone here in the third end.
Well, a chance to score a bundle as well. Well, it's definitely 2. Is it any more than that? Not sure. A big game for Denmark. Still very much in the hunt for the playoffs. Seem to have some sort of interference from the umpires here. I think that shoveling action means something to do with illegal sweeping. So, I mean, no problem in the end. I'm unsure what the score was, but maybe we'll let you know in a minute. Looks like it was 3 for Scotland there. And they're off to a good start.
It seems like Scotland's playoff chances are pretty much gone with all those teams at 6 wins. But again, we are playing for Olympic points, so every game very, very important.
Yeah, I think they need at least 2 teams to lose both of their games today. So, and even some of them playing against each other. So, highly unlikely. And just confirmation from Sheet A that Scotland did score 3 in the second end.
2/3 the cap. This turn. Just about anywhere thick.
So Mark Kennedy will throw the hit and roll here off the open red, trying to group the stones a little bit. Not sure if he has enough pace to get 2 reds flying here, but he'll roll, nestle up against those. That's a very nice shot indeed. And that's not that easy to get to now, that yellow stone.
Oh, Brent Lang swooping hard to try and make that one curl, and hits the perfect spot really. I think Thomas also just looking into the possibility of going between those 2 yellow stones in front of the house. Not too much more than a stone's width between them.
Oh, there we go, through the
Nicely
hole.
done. Very nice, Torgeir Nørgaard.
Well, he's an engineer. He knows his physics.
Oh, here's another look. How much space was there each side? Maybe a little bit more than we thought.
Can't make this a hair low and make those top 2, eh? And open up the back. So
Still, the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it, wide open for Canada. And they'll try and hook one around the tight yellow guard. So although Norway lying 3 at the moment, none of them really in that threatening a position.
And Hebert really working this one.
You're gonna kill it. It's gonna be mean.
Ben, now go, Ben. Kill it, go.
Keep going, Brent.
So wanting to curl there, but you hear Ben Hebert telling Brent, you know, if you go for curl, you're going to kill the speed. So Ben Hebert kept going there to drag it as far as he could. In the end, just didn't quite get the weight and line in order. He'll play the run back here, actually. Apparently wasn't enough to bury that yellow.
Hår lavt, eller altså aldri høyt. Høyt, men aldri lavt. Torgeir!
So just discussing what brooms to use here. given second, Christophe Soir, the most abrasive one, seeing how this is quite the important shot. He's not going to need to use it, as Håvard is trying to hold it. Not happy about the result initially, but he has spun that in a way that looks like Narvi's lying 2 now. So definitely improving the situation.
I don't know if I can. Like, I might just be, like, this might go, but I might just be trying to get all 3 and sit here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a nose hit to do what you want to do right now.
Right on the nose.
What?
No, I think it's a nose hit to sit 2 and squirt the 2 over to here.
Are you sure we get second if we're on the nose?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you're making that double, right?
You have it all. No, I know that. I'm talking about that one.
Oh, you are for sure.
Yeah, okay, then
and you
I
got
like
room like a little high to do this, but then we're worried about losing the 2
I need
as
a bit
well.
of weight though to make.
That's what I mean. I don't want to lose the 2.
I need like good norm. I need normal.
I think normal on the nose is the shot.
Okay.
And if you're a sliver high with normal, I think you're okay.
So initially, Kevin Cui
Yeah,
elected
you
to
need
play
normal.
the double off the 2,
What do you want?
top 2.
What do you want here, Kev? Want one
But I don't know if
both reds?
if you catch that top bail on the left-hand side, you might drag the back red enough to the right to not catch the back red. Anyway, they are playing the nose hit, I believe, to get that back one going. Trying to spin the Yellowstone that's in the house now over to the other wing. Try and sit 2.
Solid control.
Yes! Whoa! Yep, whoa! Yep! Whoa, 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 whoa!
See how this comes off.
Yes, bang! Yes! Back to the red one! Go, 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 go,
Definitely caught the back one, and they are sitting 2. That's a great shot by Kevin Cui. Angles really in favour.
Nice, Kev.
No double for the Norwegians, and the call is pretty much to play a hit and roll here.
Another lovely shot here by Kevin Cui. Doesn't throw too much weight, just does enough to get both of those reds out and keeps them both around to lie 2.
Bang! Kev, back to the red one! Go, 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 go!
That's how quick a curling end can change. That was a good draw by Mark Kennedy. Just slight miscue by the Norwegian skip, but still a chance to save the end here with a good hit and roll.
Femte.
Tut upp! Tut upp! Ja! Ja! Hard!
Oh, that's pretty good roll, I'd say. That was they were calling on the sweep to try and carve it at the end there, but it was almost too much.
Yeah, almost took a right turn as it was a few feet before the stone. Here's another look at it. Just watch this. It's directional sweeping. Dives towards the center line.
It can, but that's pretty thick.
I think that was maybe the perfect spot. I'm not sure if there is a shot to score 2 now. Definitely a difficult one at best.
It's how do I put? It's fairly natural with the 6 where the 6 is going to go.
I like it.
No, it's just I gotta get.
I'm worried about this guard. Yo, I know, but I think there's room.
I guess what I'm asking is if I hit it too thick, does it come back here?
If you hit it too thick, like, are you going to make that double? No. He's just wondering if you hit it thick and
Like
take
if
the
it touches
3,
that, does it touch this?
very unlikely. But it's still
Like
only
it
a 1. It has to just feather.
Yeah, I
it.
know. I see
Yeah.
that. But,
Here, let's go 2 reds.
Yeah, we can always bring it back.
Yeah,
okay, I like it. It's like
about-
control weight, eh?
thinking about it.
Did I?
Yeah, easy control, coup. I like that.
Did you get that one going? We never want to carve this.
I know.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think I got that, and it was gone.
It was gone. So I would tell you, like, here.
So Team Canada definitely thinking
guys,
there's a
to
shot
just
for
get by
2.
this.
Do you care to
sounds
explain
good.
what they're
We
trying
got
to do
2
here?
reds, eh?
Yeah, well, it's the first time I've heard Kevin Cooey all week say that he likes the shot and he doesn't hate it. So I think they've kind of identified an opportunity over here in the wing, and that they can make a play on their own Yellowstone and try and split it almost and spin both the tutor and the stone in the house into the 8-foot to score 2. Doesn't seem to be too much risk here. As long as they get through that port, that's the key here for Kevin Cooey.
Last stone in the third end. Definitely not an easy shot here, but certainly looks there. Gonna have to come very close to the center guard. Goes to the hole, ticks it in. How long with the back yellow spin? Not far enough. So there's a score of 2. That's a great shot. Actually made it look easy there, Kevin Cooey. So Canada puts 2 up on the board by this lovely touch shot. So Canada, after 3 ends, will now lead the game 3 shots to 2. Just watching this a few times.
Okay, I ended up at number 3.
It's lovely how the stones both spin in towards the 8-foot. 3-2 for Canada.
Should go behind. No, this should go in Kevin's hand.
Oh, Kevin has another one down there. Yeah, but Dan's right.
Kev! Here, guys, top 4.
Back in action here. In the 4th end, we've had quite the exciting 3 ends of play.
Great scrub.
Canada currently leading the game 3 shots to 2 after a very nice little hit and roll split, whatever you would call it, in the 3rd end to score 2. And Canada will employ the tactic of throwing into the house first, knowing that Norway puts up the corner guard. Of course, Norway could play the hit on the stone in the house and just run some stones down and blank the end, but they're not going to do that. They like to put some stones in play and actually play. So that's what they're going to do. I don't think we've seen too many blank ends pan out that way. Teams drawing into the house and seeing the other team hit. Certainly not on the broadcast of games, I think.
Well, the only exception was the game between Canada and Sweden, where it didn't seem to matter what they did with the first stones. It seemed to end up in a blank end. Even when Nicholas Dean threw a centre guard and Kevin Cooey threw a corner guard, they still ended up blanking in. So I think that was more so a testament to the quality of the takeout play, though. But just to go back to that shot in the last end by Kevin Cooey, I think 9 out of 10 skips wouldn't even spot that shot and identify the lack of risk in going for it. He could have hit that Yellowstone pretty much anywhere and he would have been guaranteed a score of 1. And makes it perfectly and gets the 2. A mistake here from Håvard Vad Petersen.
I think Kevin Cooey could only look at the red stone spinning out. A bit of frustration as he couldn't sweep that with the sharp the sharp pad. Certainly it was close to spinning out the rings. Brent Lang looking for a little hit and roll back, but
Sorry, I didn't know if we were
doesn't end up in the best spot, I think.
Yeah, and hanging around on the wing and behind the tee line. That could come into play on their next shot when Christopher Sva comes around the corner guard. Could just make it a bit more complicated to remove. Sva 83% for the week. Not playing his absolute best.
Maybe just slipping a foot too deep.
Yeah, we do.
Line was really good there.
Speed's good here. Hey, I'm getting good speed. Yeah, speed's good here.
Canada will come after it, try and freeze the red stone. Just put the sail right on top.
Light's good, guys. Light's good. T-line.
T-line. Get ready. You're still light. You're still light. Line's great.
Brent Lang, of course, a long-time second for legendary curling player Glenn Howard. All these, all the players on the Canadian team world champions with different teams in the past. Kevin Cooey having won it back in 2010.
No, arguably the two best sweepers in the game, Hebert and Kennedy, 2010 Olympic gold medalists. And didn't they do well with that one? Perfect spot, really. Would have potentially just liked it to curl a fraction more, so Norway can come down onto the nose here and just try and bump the freeze off and create a freeze of their own. Needs to get by the guard here. Just the faintest of touches on the way by. Big mistake there by Christopher Sva.
I believe that he threw the #1 rock there, and on the previous shot they mentioned that the #1 rock was a curler, a cutter. Seemed to curl a bit more than the others. So
Let's go. Let's be quick. Right in the middle of the hole. You're not even guarding ours, right? Yeah. Okay, right in the middle of the
certainly
hole.
overcurled this time.
Because I think it's a little straighter. That's a lot of ice. 2/3 mark. There we go. Don't touch this.
Mark Kennedy, 88% for the week.
Really? Wow, a little bit. We're close. Weight's good.
Great shooting.
What? Weight's good. Halfway. A little bit tighter. Halfway. Easy. Yeah, just half. Den backen? Ja. Du kunne tappa
Well, Canada just placed a guard now on that Yellowstone to prevent Norway from trying to play the same shot again.
So the run back called here by Team Norway, as you see Tore Gunnergaard playing 88% for the week. Really solid numbers. Trying to hold this one, and I believe he's made a cracking shot, just having that red stone spin out in the open. A millimeter from perfection.
Oh, let's have another look. And even just gets that wide yellow and pops it out as well. So Norway lying 2 after this one. Great shot. More changing brushes.
think that's going to take up a little bit of time.
And Torgeir Nergård up in his perch there. It's almost like a dune at the side of the ice pad.
Yeah, where we had the world's biggest Alphorn placed yesterday.
Oh, we certainly did, Sander. 14 meters in length, 250 kilos. I believe the Swiss gentleman who was playing it did have one that was about 3 times longer than that, but it doesn't play any sounds, unfortunately.
We have another update for you on Sheet C, Korea, United States. It might look like John Schuster's playing the draw, but he's actually playing the hit and roll. Big call, but certainly the guy to make it. He's made some incredible shots all week. He's going to come off the yellow one onto the red, and it's very close to score 2, but it will only be the single. USA leading that game 3 shots to 2 after 3 ends of play. I believe we've seeing another run back here now. A little more controlled weight.
Oh, it could even just be a kind of a tap up here to open up the shot stone and get one in behind the center guards.
I believe you are correct, Logan.
Oh, perfect shot again by Torgeir Nergård. He's on fire at the moment.
I guess he's opened up that Yellowstone as well.
Very clever shot there. I guess the thing in playing the run back was that you do risk losing your red stones at the back, having a more aggressive call.
Actually, no, I have to stick it. Yeah, but I mean, it's not. He's Benny with the other one. Crazy. So I need, like, not quite hack, right? I mean, I'm not.
Back 12 and just get the roll under.
Yeah. Try and get that back.
Yeah, I see it. I'm wondering if we can come right to it and be okay. Yeah, it looks like we can. It's close.
Yeah.
Regardless. Just make the roll and I think we make the shot. Back 12, I
What
can
do you think
expect.
of that? Look like Max?
Yeah, close. Like here.
It looks like they might be putting a bit of a split there on their own Yellowstone. They're going to try and push it back to freeze the back 2 red stones and then check over there into shot position as well with the shooter. Just backline weight called. Tournament accuracy 89% for the week. Great numbers from the Canadian skip.
Clean it. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, Benny. At the end, Benny. Yes, yes. Come on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No shooting, no shooting.
Oh, they've just about missed that. It curled so much.
That was a definite example of what a sweeping can do. That looked to be wide all the way down. I thought they've waited too long, but Ben Hebert just jumping that at the end. And it just swung in there, over curled.
Så lenge du bare puffer den ut her, så er det ikke krise.
Whoa, whoa.
All right, let's take a look at this again. Pay very close attention to the yellow. Look at Ben now. Has taken a left turn. And that's the thing you can do when you have a fresh pad and a guy like Benny Hebert on the brush.
Yeah, they've set up a double takeout here now. And you would expect Norway to lose that red just beside Torgeir Nergård's right foot, but definitely a chance to lie 3 here for Thomas Ulsrud.
It's not the shot the skipper's most known for, but certainly has every shot available to him.
Yeah, he likes to pretend that he's bad at playing big weight takeouts, but he is seriously underrated.
Trying to keep this one straight. 1 yellow, 2, there we go. They both go, it does not get the back red. It does slip a little bit to the back of the house as well with the shooter. Norway line 4.
Oh, here's another look over at Pedersen, keeping that one straight. I just wonder if he would have sacrificed the back red to get onto the top side of that yellow. It does present a chance to play a freeze again for Kevin Cooey. We saw him in the second end playing a freeze to take away a potential big score. Gonna need another good one here.
Same speed as when you froze.
Shade more.
Okay, that last one was just through the rings. Same weight as you threw here before, Kev.
Well, this is quite the important shot here for Kevin Cooey, facing 4 red counters.
Got hair left.
All there.
Definitely needs to be close, needs to put it in the forfeit somewhere. See the hog-to-hog stopwatch. I believe we had 14-7 on his draw for one. This is 13-2. If that's correct, this might be a little heavy. We'll have Ben Hebert maybe finishing this off. No? No, it's going to be there on its own. What is Norway left with?
Nice shot, Kev. Top for 2.
Kan være der for 2. Treffe der for 2.
Is that tap back for 2 in Norwegian, Sander?
Yes, it was.
Vi mister jo altså en av de bak hvertfall, så det er ikke verdt det. Ja, nei, vi må tappe.
Ja, men dragning med backen. Så! Få med D-en ned!
Hvis vi må... Hva toeren, tror jeg?
Jeg tror det holder med den foreløpig.
Ja, ta med toeren ned, så har vi den. Det er drå. Den kan du med.
3-eren er den du har skjæret meg, jeg har 2-eren i hånda.
Noe sånt på, Torger.
Hva spiller vi på?
Hogg på han!
Hadde ikke.
Kom igjen, da.
Men hva spiller vi på? Hva spiller vi på tappet?
Vi spiller på bakkant 8.
Bak 8, så må vi gå medkjør så vi passerer, ikke sant? Nesa bak 8. Ja, til nesa.
Ja.
So back 8 weight called here.
Ja, ganske kjapt. Jeg hadde 13-2 på hans.
We'll actually have to over curl past the guard here to get to the nose of the yellow.
Men ja, hvis den
But
skal være bakkant 8
certainly
når vi kommer fram, med
very
den,
doable
så
with
må vi
these
spille bakkant 12 fot.
swinging ice conditions here in St. Jakobshalle.
Vi må opp det
Ja, vi
viktigste
gjør
er
det.
å få en.
Can I sweep with this one? Yeah.
Gi det fra enden.
So it's the last stone of the 4th end. Again, a lot of Norwegian stones piling up, but Kevin Cooey making a great freeze to take the big end away. Still a chance for Norway to score 2, though. Playing back 8 way, just needs to move the yellow stone up a few inches. Just right now, might not have enough speed to get there. And they won't actually.
Så skal vi tappe den jævlig langt, da.
Tiny touch, but I don't think it's enough. Well, that's only the one, a big mistake by the Norwegian skip, as he didn't even throw that hard enough, knowing very well that directional sweeping, if anything, will slow down the rock. But score 1 for Norway, it's 3-3.
So you guys made the right choice.
wrong.
But I wasn't even looking at line.
We're back in action here in the fifth end. It's Norway, Canada facing off on sheet D in the St. Jakobshalle. It's the World Men's Curling Championship 2016. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by Logan Gray to provide you with the play-by-play as we see Ben Hebert coming around the center guard this time. So a bit of change of a tactic. You'd see them throw the corner guard earlier on. This is probably because we're in the fifth end.
Just mark if you can. Just mark.
Teams maybe already starting to think about scoring in the even ends. That would lead to having last on in the 10th end.
Sorry, guys.
Also providing you with a chance to maybe have the hammer, the last on advantage, more times than your opponent. Norway probably not wanting to allow Canada to blank the end here. But they can't take too many risks either. It's still quite early in the game. Just going to play the nose hit on the ill. We'll probably see something similar from Canada.
Hard leg it real hard. Yep. Real hard. Hard Brent. Hard langer. Gotta go.
Really working this one for line. And in the end, it gets there. Not exactly the way they were looking to do that, but skip of Norway, Thomas Ulster having a bit of a chuckle there, as they were a little bit fortunate with the result there, just tickling off the center guard, still making the shot.
Fortsätt.
Another update for you. It's Scotland and Denmark on sheet A. Rasmus Stjerne, the skip of Denmark, with his last stone. And I believe he's looking for a hit on the wing here. No problems from the guy that's been on fire all week. Will hit and stick to score 2. It's tied up after 5 ends at 3 each. Same scoreline on our future sheet, but that's only after 4 ends of play. We've had some great ends so far. This one will be a little more defensive, as Canada seemingly keeping the blank alive here, wanting to start scoring in the even ends. Maybe just keeping last on advantage for half-time as well.
Well, they've got good tight guards to work with here as well. The Canadians making any run back quite short, which is something some of the less experienced teams have failed to do this week. That's just going to poke out the other side a little bit. And now we will start putting the run backs.
Other scores out there. We just saw Scotland, Denmark tied up at 3 each, but we also have Finland leading Russia 5 shots to 2, and Korea leading USA 4 shots to 3 after 4 ends of play. Brent Lang will come after the red stone in the house. Pretty hard to get a stone perfectly buried nowadays, especially around the opposition stone, because if you bring it too high around the guard, the run back is very available. If you go too deep with the amount of swing on the ice and of course the sweeping as well, it's very easy to come after.
Yeah, it just makes it all the more crucial, the stone positioning, and sometimes you have to think a little bit outside the box.
Hard on one. Hard. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Torgeir Nørgaard hits and rolls back towards the center, but just sits edge of fort.
It's fine. Do the other way. Whoa. Looks like a big swing here from you.
Yep.
Mark Kennedy will have more difficult takeouts than this one today. Just an open takeout here.
Go up.
Maybe a hair hand here.
Whoa, are we still going this way?
Clean. Nope.
Your way.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa.
We're gonna stick it.
Yes.
Clean, yep. Hard. 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 Go, go, go. Good throw, Mark. Good.
You're just trying to keep the Yellowstone as far away from the guards as possible, making the hit and roll in behind the guards for Norway as difficult as possible. Norway could ever make a good roll, might just force Canada to take their one.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just going to play the nose hit here.
Oh, just the dead roll. Sure.
Either or.
Sure.
I'm liking this.
I don't mind the outturn at all. But just thinking the same.
Normal.
And all of a sudden, after playing a very
I
simple
think that's
end,
probably minimum, yeah.
seemingly looking like they want to blank the fifth end, now they are actually going for the hit and roll.
Okay, where are we rolling?
Is this a call to score two, or is it more to prevent Norway from making the roll themselves?
I think they would certainly take the deuce if it came along to them. If they were gung-ho on getting a blank end, I think we would see them roll to the wing.
Whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard. Gotta go. Hard. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Looks pretty close.
Yep. 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 Let's go. Keep going. Go. 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 Go.
Ends up rolling too far, switching it up, wanting to roll all the way in behind the corner. But it will be pretty much open for the Norwegians, and now they have a great chance to make the hit and roll themselves, possibly making it difficult for Team Canada to blank the end. You're going to have to dead bury this one, though. If you're showing third Iraq, I think you'll see Kevin Cooey come after it to blank.
Oh, another soft weight takeout here, this time Norway. It's really just been a bit of an end of cat and mouse. Oh, doesn't manage to find the cover. And as you suggested, Sander, looks like Canada are going to get the blank end that they set out for.
Sliverless.
Well, this will be the last stone before the half-time break. Kevin Cooey looking to hit the red stone, roll out, blank the end, and with that retain the last stone advantage. Very routine shot from the Canadian skip. Just confirming with the umpires, it will be a blank. Still a 3-3 game.
How's that one doing?
pretty good. That's the one I overcarved Kevin's with. Overcarved Kevin's back 12er.
Well, Norway, Canada here in draw 15. Scored 1 in the first end for Canada. And a super freeze with Kevin Cooey's final stone. But a great nose hit takeout from Thomas Ulsrud. Spins that yellow out of there and puts 2 on the board to give Norway an early lead. Here into the third end. Kevin Cooey with a great spot and picking this shot out. Lying 2 against, but look at this one. Pushes the yellow onto the wide red and redirects it into the 8-foot. Lovely shot. Canada leading Norway by 3 shots to 2. On to the fourth. Norway were looking good for the big score once again. And just like in the second end, Kevin Cooey makes the freeze at the back to save the day. Thomas Ulsrud with a tap back for 2. Not enough speed and can't push it far enough. Just the one there, and a tie game after 5 ends.
Well, thank you for that, Logan. We'll take a look at the other game scores. Scotland, Denmark, still at 3-3. Finland leading Russia 5 shots to 2. And USA still trailing by 1 as Korea leads that game 4 shots to 3. Not sure if Norway has too much to talk about. Things are going fairly well so far.
Foreløpig har det vært liksom glattere overalt, egentlig.
We got Rick Lang, John Dunn and Scott Pfeiffer. Quite happy to stand up a little bit. They've been sitting on the coach bench for 5 ends now. It's definitely the halftime break is more about just hydrating a little bit and getting a snack rather than employ any big tactical changes like you see in other sports. Norway, Canada, pretty close fought game so far at 3 each. You'll see Norway outplaying Canada by 4%, and I do believe they have put some pressure on Canada. It's really been down to Kevin Cooey making a few key shots, preventing them from scoring big. So if anything, I'd say Norway's had the better game so far.
Absolutely, Sander. When they've had the last stone, they've looked like scoring big ends, and Kevin Cooey pulling it out the fire a couple of times for Canada.
Canada's back on the ice. Norway chilling out a little bit more. As you see Håvard Pettersson just talking to ice technician Hans Wuttrich, also Mark Callan. Probably just giving them some feedback on the ice. I did hear Christopher Saw saying that yeah, he seemed to be a little quicker today, just all over, coming from the center line out and towards the forefoot, everything. So if that's true, I guess the ice is a tiny bit better this morning after having some troubles with humidity Obviously, having a humid building will bring a lot of frost to the ice. So, in certain draws, we've had the ice be a little bit too frosty, a little bit tracky, and teams have struggled a bit with draws. But I really haven't seen that yet.
I think the ice has greatly improved since yesterday morning and Tuesday night. A lot of work was done overnight to install yet another couple of dehumidifiers, and on Monday night we could barely see the houses because of the frost. It was just completely white out there. We couldn't see the paint, but as you can probably see, much better playing surface now.
I wasn't slowing it. That's worn in completely. Trying to make it even with Yaman.
If you're just joining us, this of course is the World Men's Curling Championship 2016 in the St. Jakobshalle in Basel, Switzerland. Place that also hosted this Worlds 4 years ago. I'm quite happy to be back in this beautiful city. It's been quite warm actually this week.
Same way, it's real.
Not having to ruffle through the snow and the slush at all. The sun's been out for a few days, and teams having a nice chance to have a stroll through the old town when they have a draw off. Anything special the teams would do in between draws to take their mind off of curling, or is it all curling all the time?
No, I think when they're off the ice, then they want to try and do some other things and take their mind off what is a long week here in Basel. Some options could definitely take the boat and a rope that crosses the River Rhine.
Christophe Swan playing 88% so far in this game.
Well, this end is in danger of turning into a non-event after Ben Hebert slips his corner guard into the house. Perhaps just being caught out by an increase in speed after the halftime break. Does happen.
Yeah, I think there's two things that might do that. It's the mopping. The ice makers will come out and mop the ice, and there's actually a lot more debris and dust particles that will be left on the ice, more than you think. And also, ice makers tend to put a little more pebble around the hack, so it might actually make you come out a little quicker from the starting blocks. We'll definitely see draws coming up a little heavy in the start of the sixth end, though. Even though Norway heading to lie a couple, I really can't see this turning into a force. I'm sure Canada is going to make another double.
It's quite thin.
It's half rock.
Okay.
I'm sure you could put 5 Norwegian stones in the house at the start at the end. You'd still see a blank end happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Brent Lang going for the half-stone double. Of course, Brent Lang, the only player in this team who was part of the 2012 World Men's Champion team, skipped by Glenn Howard. Victorious here in Basel. And Brent Lang has actually won gold medal for Canada every time that he's played at international level. Not too many people with that record.
So we did see Canada seemingly wanting to blank the fifth end. I'm not so sure they're looking to blank the sixth end, really.
Well, I think they've been pretty much forced into it by that early mistake by Ben Hebert. So we've said earlier in the competition about the top teams really being very reluctant to give up the last stone without scoring multiple points. So don't really want to be forced to score one here in the 6th end, although it would mean that they'd have the hammer on the even ends.
What the fuck's his problem?
Yeah, and of course there are more even ends than odd ends left in the game, so Canada would score here. We would likely get the hammer back in the 8th and 10th end, so that would be 3 ends for Canada to have the last one advantage, while Norway would only have the 2, so that's definitely why Canada would be looking to score a couple here. So, but looking like a blank. You might even see them try and blank the next end to regain that advantage of having one more hammer, another opponent team. Although I think you'll see Norway really force the issue in the next end, though, to throw up the centre guard and not allow Canada to do so. Thomas Ulsrud playing 88% in this game. He's had some solid shots. It's been pretty good for the week as well. Had a few struggles in certain games, but overall pretty good performance. Just ended up losing 2 games yesterday, though, putting a lot more pressure on them. As you see, Thomas Ulsrud already on his way back to the hack, knowing what the next shot's going to be. Kevin Cui very much has very much made a few good shots in this first half. He's been facing a bunch of red stones and a couple of the ends. Certainly made some key shots. And he made that really nice little hit and roll split to score 2 in the 3rd. As this will just be another nose hit. I'll see the time clocks up behind Rick Lang and John Dunn. Seems like they have enough time.
Yeah, definitely a good end for the time clocks, this one.
So you have 38 minutes per team and 10 ends of play. And that's about, yeah, it's 3 minutes, 48 seconds per end per team. Last on the 6th end, looking for a blank. Not the most exciting end, but I'm sure you'll see a big one in the 7th. I can assure you that. So stick around for more curling action here as Norway play Canada. Blank end here in 6, still tied at 3.
Straight around. Yeah. You want to talk about these brooms or what you're so mad about? You seem very angry.
I'm not mad. I disagree that we've had a little help to carve all week. To not have help to help something curl now goes against everything we've been doing.
Okay,
so I'm just.
Yeah, I don't like.
I'm just disagreeing. That's all.
No, I don't either.
But we can do it different for every guy.
I hate having the yellow on the outside.
Calm down. It's all good here, boys.
If we go, what I'm asking is, if we go to 2 reds, are we going to go with that one and that, or are we just going to always go with the yellow?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the only question. Because having this on the inside last 2 ends ago made my return line back. Yeah. With the yellow, I missed that.
Yeah, that's what we're wondering.
That's all. So we just need to grab a.
It's one way,
6
half
of one,
dozen,
half dozen of the other.
we can
So
make
it's
them
almost.
the other way
That's
too.
what I'm saying. That's why I said for me, I'd rather be able to throw it aggressively tight. Right. And have it hold. That's all.
So
I'm
we
saying
can switch anytime.
it's almost.
This one's, I still want to keep this one.
It's almost an individual thing. Yeah.
Sure.
That's fine. Yeah. There's no point in having the yellow on the outside. Agreed.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if you know how you want to throw it.
Like the biggest margin for error is not having the yellow on hits at all. Right?
Oh, I know.
On the outside. Anywhere. Yeah, it still holds stuff though. A little bit, but the biggest margin for error is this tight and that on the outside. Yeah. And then try and not use that, obviously. Yeah.
So I just heard Canada really discuss their sweeping after that blank sixth end. I do believe the topic was how they're utilizing their brushes. Basically, who's keeping the sharp one, if they want to keep the sharp one on the inside to keep a stone straight, or if you want to keep it on the outside to carve it in. It seemed to be maybe an individual thing, players preferring different things. All surprised, it's not completely set for them as of, they played a lot of games so far this week.
I think it's a very new kind of concept, and everybody's still learning as you go along. I think part of the conversation was actually about knowing where the brushes are when you're coming to throw the stones and what the actual thrower's preference is, whether they would generally like to throw them tight and then keep them straight, or whether they want to throw them wider and then carve them in. So it needs to be a really full communication between the thrower, the sweepers and the skip to make sure that they utilize these brushes effectively.
Yeah, obviously if you make a mistake and you're throwing it a little bit wide, thinking that you have the ability to carve it in, but then the sweeper on the outside doesn't have that abrasive brush, you're in big trouble. This is what we're talking about here, trying to drag this one closer to the center line. Not sure how much juice he had left in that pad, didn't seem to move very much on him. Just enough to spill the yellow, however. As we take another look at Sheet D, it's Scotland, Denmark. Still tied at 3, but a bunch of yellow stones in the house for Denmark, Logan.
Yeah, there certainly is. And Tom Brewster needing a good one here not to give up a steal. Must-win game here for Scotland to keep any hopes alive of some sort of a tie-break situation. Looks like the sweepers have got this one under control. Great draw here by Tom Brewster, down onto the button. And a great escape there for Scotland. 6 ends played, and it's Scotland 4, Denmark 3.
Well, Canada came around that centre guard, just slipped to the back of the 12. Looking pretty wide at the moment. This is certainly the straighter side of the sheet. Håvard Pettersson really trying to carve this one in as much as possible. Gets pretty close to the freeze. Just not quite enough.
We like the straight draw or hit and roll in.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't know if I like the straight draw on the outside, so I don't know how you bear it.
So I talked about Canada wanting to blank the 7th end to keep last on into the next end. Is that something you could agree with?
You want the reds inside?
Here we go.
I think so. It seems like a sound strategy. Going to play this takeout on the front again.
Weight's good. Whoa, Benny.
Swing.
Yep.
I think what you were saying earlier on, Sanders, absolutely right, and about the positioning of stones behind the guards and getting them hidden. I think it's causing the teams to play a little bit more defensively. It doesn't spin in, but does open up the middle, and definitely an opportunity for a blank here for Canada. Now are we calling the centre guard?
I believe they're calling the centre guard because they're quite certain Cannon's going to remove it. Maybe running a few stones down. Then they might just make a play into the rings, sit 2 and force Canada to score 1 later on. Obviously Canada knows that, so they might try and switch up the calls a little bit. We'll see.
Linja bra. Kom igjen litt til. Bra. Glatt nå, altså.
Ja, det var bra.
Bra. Deal.
En til!
Han bare dobler jævlig fort. Skal jo aldri slå.
Det er så glatt.
Ja.
Bra linje!
Torger Nergård.
Gjerne kølle!
Just looking to throw the center guard again.
Gjerne kølle! Håvard inn! Vi skal i hvert fall bite senter. Wow! Forsiktig, forsiktig! Wow!
Ikke inn da, gutter.
Oh, you don't want to drag this too far. I think that's a tad too close. Canada certainly will have a chance to make the hit and roll in. Definitely possible, all depending on what weight they want to throw here. Just hack board weight here. Certainly you can make it.
Going into that is really close to this.
Oh, I see.
You can make this with easy board.
Okay, easy board, yeah.
Easy board.
So a bit of a mistake by the Norwegians there.
Yeah.
Mark Kennedy will be throwing his out turn as he's left-handed. Makes it a little confusing at times. As our other commentator and Swiss Helm mentioned, if you just use the clockwise and counterclockwise terms, it makes it a lot easier. Definitely two different ways of throwing, and I think most players will fancy their out turn. Mark Kennedy just rolling out here though. Norway's just going to throw the center guard again. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment.
Well, absolutely. This guard isn't that beneficial, really, for Norway from a protecting stones in the house point of view. But what they are doing is they're anticipating what Canada are going to do next, and they can't afford to leave this guard if they want to blank the end. So they'll put the guard up again, and then probably come into the house with the next one. I would expect them to see them draw the wing, the left-hand side, as we look at it just now. The right-hand side now.
Then if you stay there, it's terrible. Do you like going out to chase bumper?
I think so, hey.
Sure. Like, what if we throw it?
Top four.
Buried top four. Hit it and roll over nice.
Well, Kevin
I don't
Cooey's
care which turn you want.
calling the Norwegians bluff here a little bit.
Kev, the only other shot if you want is to bump and roll. What does he do?
On what?
Bump the Mark's out turn.
On that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't get what you mean.
with my out turn.
Yeah, that way.
Roll far. Is that what you guys are thinking?
Yeah, if you rolled out, Mark, it's not bad.
Yeah, and yeah.
You just don't want to
Make a double, and then we hit and roll open, and we got the blank.
You just can't nose it.
I think that's a good call.
He's free. I think he's freezing. I'm not in love with it. I mean, what's he do if you go right here?
That's fine too.
It's tough run.
I think it's the same speed as
It's got to be dead buried, but
yeah, real close. He's gonna light all day, and you keep getting it there.
I don't hate this. You got to roll. What do you like, Mark?
I like the hack waiter, I think.
Okay, you need that stick. Totally okay with
Well,
this.
he has to make a decision too. If I roll this really good,
Yep.
if he ever misses the double, right?
We have to throw a good hack, eh?
Okay. I'm a little heavy there, eh?
What's that?
Hack.
Just
I'm a little
roll on
heavy on that
top.
one.
I think you need good hack just in case
Right.
we're going to need
hack,
it.
eh?
Good hack. No, good hack. Got to
Okay,
get
I
that out
don't
of the
know
rings,
how-
Benny.
Okay.
Well, Kevin Cooey's being overruled a little bit here by the players at the other end of the ice.
Yep.
He kind of favoured the dead draw around the centre guard.
It's good. Solid hack.
Clean blind roll.
Rest of the team want to keep the blank alive by tapping that redstone through the house and rolling to the wing. And it does hang around till I2.
Good sweep, guys.
Nice shot.
Doble oss og eventuelt rulle opp dit.
I'm just disagreeing, that's all.
No, I don't either.
But we can do it different
No,
for every guy.
I hate having the yellow on the outside.
Calm down. It's all good here, boys.
If we go, what I'm asking is if we go to 2 reds, are we going to go with that one and that, or are we just going to always go with the yellow?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the only question. That's
Because having this on the inside last 2 ends ago made my return run back.
yeah.
With the yellow, I missed that. Yeah, that's what we're wondering.
That's all. So we just need to grab a.
It's one way,
six
half
of one,
dozen
half
of
dozen of the other.
We
So
can
it's
make them
almost.
the other way
That's
too.
what I'm saying. That's why I said for me, I'd rather be able to throw it aggressively tight.
Right.
And have it
That's
hold. That's all.
So
I'm
we
saying
can
it's
switch. It's almost.
Well, if you weren't able to see that earlier, that was the discussion the Canadians had in that 6-10 break. I don't think the colors necessarily. I mean, the pads are different. It's just the system they're using to keep a track of which ones they haven't used and which ones they've been using.
So Thomas Ulsrud going to make the take out at the back here. Not going for the double, tries to play a hit and roll freeze instead.
And that is good. Real nice there. As you might see, I think Kevin Ku's first call here is just to play the little nose hit, get rid of the backing, back yellow, and sit on top of the red himself. It's kind of replacing
That's really close. That's really close.
the stones, really.
Yeah, just come back to that conversation after the 6th end. Was quite an interesting one. It seemed like a little bit heated to start off, but I don't think there's any real tension between them. It's just they're all trying to make their own point.
Should be good,
Let's close it down.
A little max, if anything.
A little max of anything, but that's good. I think that's really good.
There is still a little bit of uncertainty around this brushing and how they can maximize the effectiveness of this. You would expect that during the summer then the whole thing might be clamped down a little bit by the World Curling Federation as they produce new rules following a sweeping summit meeting.
Kevin Ku having a bit of a wobble out the hack there, actually, but still makes the shot.
Perfect.
Sakte, men nesten ikke så hardt. Bare sånn som han. Der, og så prøver å gå an til det. Ja, der, og så solid her. Toeren! Hæ? Fint!
Nei.
Toeren! Få med, Torgeir. Kom igjen, da.
Tenker du 2-3 eller 1-2?
Du må sende deg ned igjen. Jeg tenker 1-2.
We see the brooms trading places. Thomas Ulsrud pretty much
It looks like he's aiming, but
took 2 of the brooms, leaving Torgeir with nothing.
Samme! Han blanker uansett. Ja, men det er jo noe blast, det er frys. Vi må ikke på nesa, vi har ikke tid til å spille.
da får vi kjappe.
Bare her.
Just a bit of discussion in the hack there. Lead Håvard Pettersson, I think he was just wanting to blast the 2 stones on the back. Thomas Ulsrud thinking it might just be an easier shot to make the nose hit, so that's what they're going for. Knowing full and well that Kevin Ku's probably going to make the double and blank, even with this shot being perfect. Needs to sit on the face of the yellow here. They're just going to slip off. Thomas Ulsrud visibly and quite audible in his frustration.
Well, I don't really know why they weren't sweeping that one to make it curl.
I just think they thought they had the line there. We actually see Ben Hebert sweep in behind the T-line to keep it straighter at the end. So definitely a chance to score 2 here for the Canadians, which would be the first time a team has led the game by more than 1 point. Well, compared to a lot of his previous shots in the game, I'd say this one is a simple one. Last stone of the 7th. Good chance to score 2. Mark Kennedy calling off the sweepers at the moment. Now wanting Ben to just finish it off. They will make the hit and sit. Score 2, Canada. All of a sudden up by 5 shots to 3 as we come to the conclusion of the 7th end.
Men du visste at den ga 3-eren, ikke sant? At det kanskje...
Ja, men jeg trodde den skulle ha brukt den så bra.
Ja, du brukte den på den racen og den rundbacken og litt forskjellig.
Det er bare når det er på første gang at det går bananas.
Ja, men jeg trodde den skulle gripe mer. Trodde ikke du det?
Nei.
Ja, men da må du rope, da. Du pleier å rope ellers, for å si sånn.
Ok, hvor gjør du med?
I hvert fall en skarpen igjen. Vi trenger en toer nå, litt sort.
Ja.
So just about underway with the 8th end of the Norway-Canada game on sheet D.
Top button. Top button. It doesn't need 2 of us. Mine's real good. Just bite the button. Looks here. Looks pretty good.
We're down to 3 draws left, including this one. It's the last day of the round robin before we head into the playoff stages tomorrow evening. We might have tiebreaker situations in the morning or afternoon, all depending on how the teams stack up. At the moment, we have 5 teams sitting at 6 and 3, so quite possible we might have teams having to play another game after the round robin to decide who gets the final spots. Certainly Canada is through. Norway dropping 2 games yesterday, really needing to pick up 1 win today to make sure they're in the playoff situation as we compare the 2 leads.
Line's good. It looks like it. Whoa! Where are we? Line's good for right here.
That's Håvard Pettersson just outplaying Ben Hebert by a tiny bit. Could all boil down to that corner guard slipping into the rings from Ben and the 6th end.
Well, one thing's for sure, Sander, it's going to be a really interesting day of curling. And we're having a really interesting game here between Norway and Canada. Norway probably had the better of the opportunities, but Canada putting more points on the board so far.
Then we're going to feature Norway again this afternoon at 2 o'clock playing Switzerland. And then on the broadcast we'll have Canada again against Switzerland at 7 o'clock to wrap up the round robin. Switzerland, of course, disappointed with only 4 wins in 9 games. Switzerland hosting the World Men's Curling Championship for an 8th time. Switzerland failing to ever win on home soil. 4th time Basel is hosting. As mentioned, Last time was back in 2012. Canada winning the gold medal with Glenn Howard. And this guy, Brent Lang, throwing the peel on the red stone at the back. Norway's going to have to put a really good one in behind the guard. As we take a look at the standings, Canada on top, and as mentioned, Denmark, Japan, Norway, Sweden, and USA at 6 and 3. It looks pretty hard for Finland, Scotland, and Switzerland to step up and climb that ladder into the playoffs. And I'm no mathematician, but I don't think it's going to be very likely for them to have a chance. But again, playing for the Olympic points, so really want to finish as high up on the standings as you can.
Yeah, so it looks like 5 teams there and 6 wins for 3 spots. Canada already have 1 secured. Lovely come around. The second players pretty even. We talked earlier about the position of the corner guards from Norway. I think they're actually trying to throw them that wide, and I really like that approach in getting the corner guards as wide as possible to make sure that you're not preventing any draw down that side of the sheet to score one. Definitely better erring on that side than towards the center line. Are we doing a good job of using the full width of the sheet here? At some stage, they're going to have to make a play in the house, though, on those 2 yellow stones. Just trying to run a few down at the moment. So they'll keep throwing this corner guard, and you would expect to see Canada throwing the peel once again.
It's the 7th end on sheet A as Scotland plays Denmark. Certainly looks like Rasmus Stjerna has a chance for the outturn hit to score 2 here. He's enjoyed a really good week so far. The Danish skip, having qualified for the Worlds through the B group of the European Curling Championships, having a terrible season last year, will make that hit and stick to score 2. And very much in contention for the playoffs. Had a much better season alongside Jonny Fredriksen, Michael Poulsen, and Charles Harry on the ice today. But we also seen Oliver DuPont playing, can only be described as a rotation for the Danes. It's been working well for them as we compare our 2 featured thirds. Pretty close fought. Torgen Ergaard just outscoring Mark Kennedy by a tiny bit, having pretty much made all his hits today, making some great run backs. Now he'll make another double, I think. No, that second yellow will stick around. Not terrible for Norway. They're certainly looking to score here, but with that Yellowstone in play,
I don't think so.
bigger chance they might be forced to the single.
Yeah, you'd have to be real thick.
Okay, I think it's half a rock.
Well, without any guards, Norway are going to have to work quite hard here
1 chance at her?
to score 2.
What is it, like a thick half?
Looks like Canada might go for the crosshouse double on these 2 reds.
They're saying, here Ben Hebert saying, you got 1 chance at her. Just meaning that if Mark Kennedy misses this double, Norway's going to be able to split the rings, and it's going to be quite hard for Canada to get another double attempt. So big shot for Mark Kennedy coming down here. Ben Hebert trying to finish this one off. 1 red. And it's just going to slip below the second one, and Norway will have a chance to get maximum separation.
Sorry, I was kind of aiming for.
As Thomas Ulsrud, skip of Norway, just having another look to see who's actually lying shot at the moment. I think it might be yellow. Norway definitely looking to move it, and from the overhead, I do think maybe it's yellow. It's pretty hard to make out.
I would say by the amount of ice that they're taking that they're probably going to try and bump it. As you heard Ben Hebert say, that was Canada's chance to get rid of both those red stones. It's going to become a bit more difficult now as Norway are able to level out the stones in the house and not leave any angle to make the double. Well, over curling a bit here. And is that even second shot position? I don't think so. That's over curled. And now Canada can play the takeout to lie two. A big miscalculation here by Norway.
Even if there is an impossible double, it'll just roll right into that. And then your freeze is probably shot. Freezes your shot.
Good. He's going to have to corner freeze it.
Heavy control.
Yeah, you would.
Okay, sounds good.
Because it goes right into it. Unless we literally roll this to the back four.
Or we could roll just 2 feet.
What if we...
Doesn't seem like Norway are playing that badly at the moment. It's just a couple of tiny misjudgments that are
What do you think the out does? Should be the same, eh?
doing them harm at the moment.
Yeah, well, you go back to the previous end where they just undercurled an inch to slip off the back stone, leaving a nose hit for Canada to score 2. You go back to the third end, it's really Kevin Cooey just making a great shot for his deuce there. And every time Norway's had the last stone, they've had great chances of scoring even 3 or 4 at times. Kevin Cooey just making some key shots to keep Canada in the game. And he's going to make another good one here. All hit roll into the 8 foot. Canada seemingly sitting 2. Norway's going to just play the nose hit here, I think, and hope for a potential double to score 2 in the last one. That's the comparisons for the fourth players, the skips. Kevin Cooey outscoring Hulsrud by 3%, but very evenly matched.
Yeah, I think Kevin Cooey just sneaking it overall, though he's absolutely nailed those key shots when they've come around.
I think I'd like to see the same weight. It didn't seem heavy when it got here.
Okay.
Just taking a look back at that third end just mentioned. Probably the shot of the game as Kevin Cooey with the outturn. The quiet way to get through the hole. Hits the L1, spins the shooter in. Scoring 2. Really switched the momentum for the game a little bit.
You can never tell whether he's made or missed a shot. So looking like Canada are going to lie 2, and you're going to have those Yellowstones extremely well separated. Can Thomas Hulsrud throw it hard enough to make that double? I'm not sure.
Men vi har jo ikke noe, det er ikke noe vits å ikke prøve nesten. Vi er nesten nødt til å.
Kevin Cooey does enjoy a smile in between shots, just not directly after one.
Any some tips? You think it's there? Kevin,
They're just asking if they can borrow.
Oh, it's always there.
That's some great banter between the teams as Just acknowledging that Kevin Q might have a little bit more upweight ability than the Norwegian skipper. I've seen him throw this hard. If anyone watching remembers the game between Norway and Sweden at the round robin at the Olympics in Sochi, he made a wild one off the winger to come off the side and punch his own stone sideways to score. If he throws the same kind of weight he did back then with a huge extension, I think it's there, but it's going to have to come out of his comfort zone to make it. And I guess you just have to think, well, being 1 down after 8 against Canada, or make this double. What's the better odds?
Well, they certainly can't afford to fall any further behind. The other thing working in Thomas's favour is that he doesn't actually have to punch the yellow out of the rings. He only has to move it a few inches. So I think it is going to be that close. The only way he can make it is if he does move it a couple of inches. So I think maybe by the ice they've taken here, they might just be settling for 1.
Yeah, discussion certainly was being the skipper telling his front 10, well, if you only take 1 here, we're going to lose slowly but steadily. And then Håvard saying, well, if you play the double, we're going to lose right now. So let's play the draw. Just, oh, well, there. Seems like they're actually playing the hit here instead of the draw, but it's still for 1. And they will make the little hit roll into the forfeit.
Havard giving it the big sweep on the roll there, like he was going to make the double.
Well, after some amusing banter and another great end, it will be a score of 1 for the Norwegians. We will trail Canada by 1 point. Canada will have the last advantage as we come back with the 9th end. Welcome back to the St. Jacobs Hall. We're down to the 9th end of this future game between Norway and Canada. It is Canada up by 1 with last stone, so very much in control now. Norway will be putting up the centre guards, trying to set up for a steal at worst, giving up a force of 1 to get the hammer back in 10.
Anti-clockwise draw here for Ben Hebert.
Don't worry about the line, but if anyone, it's Mark.
It's pretty close still. I got you.
So it is only one shot game, but Norway really on the back foot here. They're probably going to have to steal twice if they want to win this game. Canada play the come around, but Norway are just going to ignore this one and throw another guard. Make full use of the free guard zone.
Sva inn. Sva, vi må køle.
Det er over.
Holder. Spiker den åtteren, alle? Ja.
Havard not too happy to leave an angle in those two reds. Just didn't seem to get much curl at the end.
Come on, need you on this one. Come on.
Right kid, guys.
Come on, Brent, let's go. Go, 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 go. Heads down, boys. Bury him. Go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Go, boys. Get full 12. Get full 12. Go, 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 go.
Benny. Have a look at how you want to throw this, right?
Bra sånn, Tre.
So two good draws there by Ben Hebert.
Selvfølgelig.
Gives Canada control of this end at the moment, and Norway will have to start moving things around in the house.
Jeg er enig. Men kanskje vi kan bruke noe skarpt, og så tappe. Nei, jeg tror hvis du tapper sånn, 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 da er det skarpt.
Best var å spille hatch.
Norway sporting one of their tamer pairs of trousers. One of the tamer pairs we've seen this week anyway. Of course, started to wear them during 2010 Olympic Games in Vancouver. A real reflection of their personality that they decided to pull them out for the biggest competition of every 4 years. That's a nice surprise for everyone. So an out-turn tap back here, just a hack weight. We're trying to put as many stones in play. We saw Korea not managing to really do that against Sweden and not managing to keep stones in play. Seemed a little bit scared of the opposition stones rather than making them their friends.
Probably this one, no?
You could just peel this one. That's a good call.
Sure.
Into that. But we're top house.
What are you thinking?
No, nothing. We're second, right?
Not a very good guard.
Like it. Straight peel.
We try to get it. I think it's half. Well, it's close to it anyway, so make the peel and see
okay.
how it goes.
Okay, straight peel.
We got the right ones here? Close. Whoa. I think so.
Mark, no, Ben. Whoa, Ben.
Has he got the wide one as well? He has. Great shot, Brent Lang.
Nice shot, Brent.
Nice, Brent. Out of way.
Well, Norway are pretty much backs to the wall here. They know that they're going to need to put together a couple of steals if they want to win this game. And Norway in real danger of falling out of contention here at the World Championship.
And they're playing Switzerland in the last game. If they can't pick up a win here, they're certainly going to have to win this afternoon. Although Switzerland might be out of playoff contention, I'm sure they're wanting to finish off on a good note in front of their home crowd. And Sven Michael, it's not an easy team to beat. Did actually beat the Norwegian team in the European Championship final back in 2013.
Yeah, Norway have only failed to qualify for the playoffs once in the last 8 years. 2013 in Victoria.
It's been maybe the world's most consistent curling team in the last decade. Also, I believe medaling at the European Curling Championships 9 years in a row. As we see Finland shaking hands with Russia. It's Finland to pick up the win, 9 shots to 3. And this is how the teams stack up now. Finland at 5-5 with that win. Russia down to 2-8. And with Korea giving the USA a hard battle on sheet C, things are really getting interesting.
Yeah, and a tight game between Scotland and Denmark too. Denmark, another one of those teams on 6 wins. So another good guard from Norway, and Canada thinking they can maybe kill it off now and make the draw.
I mean, look good. Okay.
I think it's what you...
So a switch of approach here from Canada,
Good. Same way we've been throwing.
turning defense into offense.
Seems like maybe a tad earlier than some teams would do it. But I guess this is something that they've been doing. I figured out that making the move here, Norway only had 3 stones left. It's I guess it's been working out for them in the past.
Are you sure?
Yeah, right to it. Just to it. Right to it.
Let it stop.
But if you ever
Just to it.
slip up here with a little miscue, it will allow Norway to utilize those centre guards.
Well, maybe a little bit closer to the one in the house than they might have liked, and Norway can certainly get one down onto down onto the nose of that Yellowstone and tap them back.
Vi må opp på nesa, da.
Nei, 2 trøndere fordelte.
Ja, jeg trenger ikke det. Nesa er nesten bedre. Bakkant.
Mykak.
Bakkant.
I know you were doing the same to me, so it's fine.
Mykak.
Du må tappe, dobbelttappe, tror jeg. Her, vær så god. Enjoy. Du har den
Har du den skarpeste svar? Mykak.
Litt mer.
Ja, vente, over.
Well, this is a real key shot here. Kevin Craig keeping a close eye on this one in case
Enda litt, eller?
they need to follow it down. So. Translation, Sander? What weight are they throwing here?
Well, the skipper was calling for a hack, but it seemed like they were thinking just through weight, soft hack, easy hack. Calling backline now.
Well, they're past the guard now, so Christopher Sva sweeping hard to make it curl. And a nice shot pushes that to the back of the tee line, and that could be one to be frozen against later.
And all of a sudden, Canada needing to think this one a little bit over, taking a timeout. Well, they went for the aggressive call, and now they're, I guess, a little bit stuck already. Could have made that double peel on the last shot, and would have made things a lot easier. But still, Norway having a lot of work to do. We'll see Scott Pfeiffer making his way down to the ice. 3-time world champion with the Randy Furby rink. Part of the Huff and Puff combo alongside Marcel Rock.
If we had to, Kev, we could
Front
make
end,
this double tap
strong
to the button
sweepers.
if you did get one in there. We could make this, yes.
What's that?
Like this. That'd be good too. Ideal. It's a little tough.
Set up a triple though.
If you make that double peel,
He's in trouble.
dead,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he can't go here anymore then.
Yeah, I like the double peel.
He has to hit it.
Yeah.
Or tap it and try and make a pocket, which is
That's
you-
okay.
you
We'll have
only
an easy
make-
double.
You only
only
make
made
one
one.
and he goes here.
Yeah, you do. We could follow.
we gotta
not if
go
he gets
there.
to here.
I think you gotta just have a good go with this and make it.
Play it this way.
Oh yeah, that's where the angle's at.
Yeah, I like it.
You like it, Mark? I like it.
I like it. It's a little bit. I mean, I'm either perfect or I'm. Actually, I still get it going this way, even if I
Yeah.
You're
If
good.
you make that double
Okay, sliver
anyway,
high.
it's good.
I like it. Yeah.
I like it.
Still interesting to me that they're calling the double peel on the guards now, saying that if we do that,
Your intern?
Yeah.
Norway's dead. But I think that was pretty much the same on the last one if they made the double peel.
Yep, you get on the shooter.
Well,
It's just an inch. Inch is
going for it
perfect.
here,
An inch
going
the
for
wrong
it
way
now,
is a disaster.
thinking that
No worries about that.
Okay,
even
that's-
if Norway freezes to the back hill, they'll be able to play that combo in the house to get it moving.
Yeah, I think they were looking for a miss really with that last call from Norway rather than keeping things in their own control. Going to try and the double peel here. Saw a little bit of banter there between Torgeir Nergard and Scott Pfeiffer. Torgeir Nergard did play in the 2004 World Championships against Scott Pfeiffer.
Good sweep, guys. Yeah, that's good.
Good job, Mark.
Thanks, buddy.
Hi, boy. Perfect, he's back.
It's a great double peel by Mark Kennedy. Opens things up.
I'll take it. Perfect.
Tror du må prøve å fryse ned dit.
Jeg tenkte jeg kanskje kunne slå og rulle nå, siden det er to.
Blir ikke kvitt det hjulet der.
Blir ikke kvitt den der,
Du må
den
fryse
ene.
inn først, ja.
Ja, men
Når vi
da
kommer inn her, så slår han.
vi klarer ikke å komme helt til nesa.
Nei, men,
Jo, det tror jeg vi klarer
Det
faktisk.
klarer vi. Vi er opp dit. Slår han, sitter han bort der. Så kan vi slå siste to i hvert fall.
Man sitter borte her. Eller tre. Vi må helt opp på nesa nesten, da.
Jeg tror jeg må ut på nesten litt mer. Jeg tror det køler opp. Ja. Så hva skal jeg gå med køls?
Gardene køla ikke så mye her nå, men
So we're still going to make that back freeze.
Jeg synes det var sneppet treigere der ute. Kan det stemme? Hæ?
Same shot Canada was discussing they might do, and
Eller ikke?
if they do that, Canada would just blast the top, go red, yellow,
Du har
red.
eller?
Norway thinking they can make it good enough for that shot not to be quite available. Thinking to freeze this back yellow right on the nose, actually, so needing some real finish coming into the house. Well, this is certainly the skip's favoured shot. It's the draws,
Ja, plass 7, 6, 7. Plass.
those delicate shots,
Linja bra. Håvard.
and
Litt på'n.
some very good communication. They usually make these very good.
Du må være med.
Ta inn.
Vent. Kom her.
I think they lost that one. Maybe not the worst spot, but I do believe Canada will be able to
You know, I think it's
get a
whether
few
it
reds
misses
going
or
here.
not, it's still the shot you were talking about.
Yeah, you're just
You
trying
try to roll
the-
right to here.
But I think we throw weight
Yeah,
to make sure we get rid of these.
absolutely.
This one doesn't go as easy as you think, right?
Well, I think it's you can throw firm or harder.
No, I like peel.
Yeah, and
I
hit
think I like the end.
7/8 with the intern.
Just keep it high
Because
side.
that's
eh?
what I'm seeing too. You get more action on the 3 with the intern anyway.
Yeah,
It's gone.
I like it.
Okay, where do you want to see it? Right here?
Yeah.
Well, Kevin Cue likes another shot.
So on the end? Yeah.
It looks like he's going to blast this top red and try and get both those reds going. And roll to the other side of the center line to lie 3. That would be the perfect result.
Yeah, just try and roll
Hey
it.
Kev, I know you want to hit it a little thin. I just don't want to do this.
Okay.
So let's make this.
Yeah. You think that's max?
No, I think it's real close.
Okay.
So Mark Kennedy and Kevin Cue covering all possible eventualities.
Yep.
I think so.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. Yes. Hard. Shooter. Go.
Oh, that's a pretty good shot from Kevin Cue. Doesn't get that last red to go out the left door. As you can actually hear Ben Hebert calling line all the way down. So the question is, will Norway play the double to set 2 here? Or do they have other things planned? Just see, just needed to curl a touch less for that red stone to fly out.
Fra Norge, så ser hvor nære nesen er.
Now looks like they are going to play the double. Another option could be to play the hit and roll under that stone at the top of the 8 foot, but I think they acknowledge the takeout ability of Kevin Cooey. If they do make this good, then they are going to force Canada to score, and they'll at least get the last stone back. What they can't afford to do is to give up a multiple score here in 9, because that would pretty much leave them dead in the water.
Well, big shot here. Really needs to make this double to have any chance of winning the game. And there we go. 2 yellows will fly. Norway sits 2. Canada will be forced to take their 1 here. And as we've seen all season, teams preferring to play the hits rather than the draws. Having a lot more control of the line with the sweeping.
Well, Kevin Cooey probably could get both of those reds going, but they would probably sacrifice their back yellow. Thomas Olshed looking pretty relaxed as always.
Well, that one seemed to take off a little bit, but Ben Ebert keeps it straight, and Canada scores 1. So they'll be back up by 2 as we will enter the final end, potentially final end. Of course, Norway, if they could ever score 2 in the 10th end, they would push this game into an extra. But we'll be back shortly with the 10.
He wants to know. He wants to get it across center T line. Okay, over here. Okay. Okay. He just doesn't want to stagger him on your second one. That's all.
Right here.
Welcome back to the St. Jakobshalle for the World Men's Curling Championship. We're down to the 10th end of this future game between Norway and Canada. My name is Sander Elvåg, and I'm joined by curling superstar and knowledgeable expert Logan Gray.
Mark can curl it.
Is that too much?
Yeah, I'm blushing a little bit, Sander.
Right on the tee.
Well, we've had an interesting game so far.
Keep going, Mark.
We've seen Norway had a lot of chances to score big, especially in that first half of the game. That's us up in the top waving. It's nice to be on camera just for a second.
I think that'll be our first and last time.
Well, as I was just touching on, Norway having big chances to score, especially in that first half. Not quite being able to execute, also being stopped by Kevin Cooey making some key shots. In the second half, it's more Canada taking control than anything. Norway has struggled to set themselves up for big ends. But now needing to score 2 if they want to push this game into an extra. I'd say the 3 is probably not in play against guys like Kevin Cooey.
Well, you never know. I was talking yesterday about when John Morris played against Russ Howard in the early 2000s, one of his first Briars, and Russ Howard was trailing by 3 coming home and managed to pick up 4 to win it. So stranger things have happened.
Come on, guys. Pull 12, bite the 8. I think you got it.
I believe also Greg McCauley was able to score 3 in the 10th end to beat Scott Pfeiffer and the Randy Ferbey squad at the Briar, which is feels like a long time ago now.
Well, that's pretty textbook setup there from Ben Hebert to get that 10th end underway.
Well, update on sheet A. It's Scotland, Denmark, and skip Tom Brewster with a outturn draw, it seems.
Had a chance to pick up a couple here. Just needs to be fully in the 8-foot, it would seem. A few yellow stones kicking around, but that red stone in there, lying shot at the edge of the 4-foot. And it is going to be a deuce in the 9th end, and that one too close to call. Scotland back into the lead there, leading Denmark by 6 shots to 5.
I don't care. I don't care either. If they bump pocket and roll buried, it's terrible.
Well, now we're going to see a lot of peels coming down from Canada.
Yep. Yep. Right to it. Hard. Hard, Benny.
We've seen a couple of missed peels on these corner guards from Canada this week. This one just rolls far enough to not be a threat.
And remember.
Really was perfect setup play by Ben Hebert. And that kind of setup of having a stone kind of at the top of the button in top 8 was really championed by the Ferbey 4 in the early 2000s. Became pretty much the textbook setup for teams defending a lead.
Just going to correct myself. It was, of course, Mark Dacey beating Randy Ferbey back in 2004. Not Greg McCauley, but himself also winning a Briar title. And the way they did that was actually not utilizing the corner guards in the end. They ended up coming around the, well, still the same thing we have here. It came around the 2 stones in the house twice, and that set up for 3. So if Norway can't, well, if Canada peels all the corner guards, that's probably what we're going to see Norway do as well. Come around those yellows, try and use them.
So Canada are going to go after the one in the house here. Don't want any of them building up. So Ben Hebert swooping hard for the curl here. Just sneaks past that wide one, finding a little bit of traffic there on the wing. Same draw here for Christopher Svart.
Well, sheet C, Korea, USA. It's Shoyok Kim. What looks like maybe a tap to score 2. Really giving USA a good fight here. Just trying to hold this one straight. You can only see about a third of that Yellowstone. I think they overcooked it. Just going to take off the top, slide right past, and it's a steal of 1 for USA. That's probably a little too close for comfort for John Schuster. But Korea still with a great chance to pick up another win here. 1 down with last stone in the 10th end.
Yeah, Korea with a slightly different agenda this week in that they're not requiring any Olympic qualification points, of course, as the host nation for 2018. But maybe trying to build something in increasing their experience and hoping that they can develop to put on a good show at the big event in Pyeongchang.
get them all
Where are you hoping the one's going?
into the side of the tube.
And not that way?
Let's be quick, guys. 3 minutes.
You're right.
What do you think?
Thick,
I think you're going to leave 2 guards, maybe.
then thin.
Like, if you're playing it thick, your shooter's not going.
It's fine.
Well, you're playing the thick peel, though. Lose the shooter, I think it's dead jab.
I see. Okay.
The other one goes in the house spot, maybe, though.
There you go.
Kev, peel one of them.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I know. How?
Try the thing then. A quarter really hard.
Well, Norway missed the draw while we were watching Korea USA, and they've left the guard just in a bit of an awkward position to not even make the double peel, but make the double peel. So
Real good. Good sweep, guys.
pushes it into the wide one and leaves the 2 reds. Not much real estate behind them to draw 2 for Norway. Well, this one pretty much just needs to be touching the rings and no more splitting tee.
I think could be tempted to maybe throw the corner guard half around the top guard, maybe force Canada to make a play on it, as we have a hogline violation from Torgeir Nergård. Red lights indicates that that stone has not been released before the red hogline in the ice. Sensors goes off, that stone comes off as well. That's not the time to do it.
Well, there's never a good time to do it, but Torgeir Nergård always riding the hogline pretty hard. Here's another look. So you saw it flash green and then the red lights come on. Obviously still a finger on there somewhere.
I remember he did do that in the 10th end of the European Championship final in Moscow back in 2012 when Sweden were looking to steal. Ended up making the double peel on the center guards on the next shot though. So he really knows how to compose himself even after making a mistake like that. So you can expect him to be close with this draw as we are now coming around the yellows.
Well, all they can really do here is draw around the 2 in the house now. That red guard not really in any sort of usable position. And looks like it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax to what's been a great game of curling. However, Pettersson just giving it the slow walk beside.
And now, so Håvard with the sharp brush, obviously. Now trying to finish it off a little bit. Not going to quite get there. They're looking to be pretty much fully buried as far back as they could there.
I think this is the shot.
Ja, jeg kjente det selv da. Jeg kjente det selv da. Jeg kan ikke ha noe hjemme seg bak der.
Det var kant i kant, da. Men
Yeah, I'm trying to get my shoot out of there. I mean,
Sure, for sure.
So now Kevin Cooey going to try and finish this one off here. Not too much separation between the stones. You would fancy him to make this one.
Yep. Gotta go. Go. We're good. Shooter.
keep going.
Wow, that is pretty good from Kevin Cooey. Makes the red one go, spills the yellows, opens everything up, and really nowhere to hide for Team Norway. So just discussing if that last yellow actually went out or not.
can't get there if it wasn't.
Closer here.
So nothing left for Thomas Hulsrud but to throw the cold freeze onto that yellow stone in the 4-foot and hope for a big mistake. Just 1 minute 10 remaining as Thomas Hulsrud makes his way back to the hack. I don't think he'll be too concerned about getting them both away. I think he knows he's probably only going to have this one to throw unless Kevin Cooey makes a huge mistake.
Playing 80% on 5 draws today. Generally his favoured shot. And I believe this morning the ice has been a lot better to play draws on, less frosty. Maybe a tad keener as well. Heard them discussing that in the halftime break. This one needs to be as perfect as you can get it. This one actually pulling up way short. And Kevin Cooey will just need to get this red stone going out. And if he does that, it's pretty much a win for Canada. And Norway only having 1 game left in the round robin. I'll be still sitting at 6 wins. We're going to have to beat Switzerland this afternoon. As for Canada, we'll also meet Switzerland this evening. But if he makes a shot here, I am quite certain Canada will be ranked 1. Here we go, last stone. Routine shot as the red one will fly. Canada picks up another win. 6 shots to 4. It was a good game, but Norway just couldn't quite take advantage of the chances they had. And Canada just started playing a lot better especially after halftime, Logan.
Yeah, and a much needed bounce back win for Canada after a disappointing loss yesterday afternoon. But normal order is resumed.
I don't think you guys got any. We got 2.
So Norway now with a bit of work to do.
Winding, boys.
Dropping their 4th game of the week.
Hard boys, go.
Here's Scotland against Denmark on sheet A here in St. Jakobshallen. And we're in an extra end, tied game, 6 each. Scotland have the hammer. Saw them come through an extra end game yesterday against Germany. Hammy McMillan making 2 lovely tick shots to really blow the end wide open. Hammy won the World Juniors in 2013 in Sochi, Russia. He was the alternate for Kyle Smith's team. Mikael Poulsen sweeps that one through, and the free guard zone rule comes into effect. So they replace the Danish stone and the Scottish stone is removed. Of course, you can't remove the opposition stones in the free guard zone until the second stones come to play. Jules Harry having an excellent game at lead, playing 93%. We mentioned earlier on that the front end of this team do rotate with Oliver Dupont on the bench. And good setup play again here from Jules Harry. Keeps those yellows directly in line and makes it difficult to double peel here for Scotland when they do come to peel. Another tick shot required. McMillan, 93%. Of course, the son of the great Scottish curler, Hammy McMillan, from Stranraer, 1999 world champion. And better weight and a better tick shot this time from Hammy. 1 out of 2 made. So Denmark choosing to make the draw around onto the button. I feel like that's their best way to keep their yellow stones separated and prevent a double peel. Here's Mikael Poulsen, the flight mechanic from Vudar. Mikael Poulsen's been to a lot of international championships and quite a few as alternate with Ulrich Schmidt, who is here on the bench. In a different capacity, coaching this week.
I'm not sure you can move this. I think you can spin this.
So Ross Patterson, the second player, coming up for a look and see if he can remove both of these yellow stones and spin the shooter too.
What do you think? Out turn. Try and spin this.
Oh, and a huge game next door. Turning out for the United States, 6 wins and 3 losses, and wanted to keep things in their own hands. They need to defeat Korea on 1 and 8 and are leading by 1. However, is there a chance for Korea to score 2 in this final end and put it to bed? So-Hyuk Kim with the hammer here in 10. Well, looks like he's coming off the winger, going for it. Thin contact off the wide one required, straight into his own red. And this one's over curled. It's going to be a steal of 1 here in the 10th end. And USA escape here in draw 15 and get their 7th win of the week. Just nicking it there in the 10th end. Final score, United States 8, Korea 6.
Way to go.
USA still very much in the hunt for the playoffs. And so are Denmark. Mikael Poulsen looking for a better draw. Scotland managing to clear the centre a little bit with a peel there by Ross Patterson. And seems to have made a good correction with his draw. Gets one down into the 4-foot. Having a really good game there. The Danish second player, 96%. And looks like Scotland are going to go after this one in the house.
Yeah, that worked.
And I'd like to welcome back to the commentary box Sander Rovag.
Yeah, just had to run down and ask Kevin Cue a few questions. We'll see that short interview after this action is up. Nice to see you getting an extra end. A little bonus curling.
Yep, 32-year-old Ross Patterson playing his first World Championship. It's been top in the stats for the seconds for most of the week. And easy to see why with shots like that. A nice control weight hit and roll, sticks around too, so it's maybe going to be the same draw again here for Johnny Fredriksson, playing 86% in this draw.
I believe he took a year off, Johnny. Back in the team now, certainly been helping out. So much routine, having played many years with Ulrich Schmidt. Denmark also played an extra end yesterday on sheet B against Switzerland. Was able to pick up the win in the end.
Yeah, they did have the last stone though on that occasion. A better draw this time by Johnny Fredriksson. It's going to force Glenn Muirhead to peel the corner guard.
Okay. Barrier. Arc. Solid arc.
Well, the tactical decision coming from the hack here, I think.
Whoa.
Glenn Muirhead
Whoa, we're in.
opting for
This one's got
the
hard.
takeout,
Go.
and looks like
Hard, gotta really go hard.
Glenn
Every inch.
might have overthrown this slightly.
Well, it's good enough to spill the yellow. Still leaving that red stone in the forfeit, so I believe that's good enough. Here's how the teams stack up right now. Canada, the only team to be for certain qualified. USA up there with 7 wins. And right now it's Japan, Sweden and Norway at 6 wins. Denmark might pick up another one here. Scotland down at 4 and 5. Again, it's all about the Olympic points. If you win the Worlds, you get 14 points coming in. 12 for silver, 10 for bronze, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 after that. And if you do participate in the World Men's Championship, you will be eligible to play the qualifying event. That was new from the last Olympic cycle, where we saw a beautiful event being held in Füssen late 2013. Where we did see Germany and USA qualify through that tournament for the last 2 spots. So 7 spots up for grabs at the Olympics, plus those 2. And of course 1 for Korea as host nation.
So a couple of lovely draws by Johnny Fredriksson, gets Denmark into shot position, and Scotland forced to peel the guard, which Rasmus Stjerne will now replace.
Just look at those numbers for Rasmus Stjerne. He's been so solid all week, real impressive. World Junior Curling Championships winner from 2009. Followed up next season by getting a silver medal at the European Curling Championships in Champéry, just losing out to Team Norway in the final. And after that, really established himself as a force to be reckoned with at the international championships. Doesn't cover the Yellowstone, but certainly keeps it in a spot where it's usable for Denmark.
I think that's a shot.
Well, you can see what Ross Patterson wants to do. He wants to drive that guard across the face of the yellow and peel them both. And timeout's been called here, and Mike Harris makes his way out to the ice.
What do you like? That's all I needed to hear. No, seriously, that's perfect. Yep. I just wondered if you had something else. Yeah. Well, we'll see how good it comes at my hand, eh? Yeah. It's a thick half, eh? Hear more?
So decision made off the back of the timeout there. Tom Brewster also having an excellent game, averaging around 90%. Trying to hit this guard across the face of the yellow, and they do that. They would have liked to take the yellow with it in the forefoot. So, and a decision here for Rasmus Stjerna. Wouldn't be surprised if he's called a timeout here. So, do you move the red shot stone, or do you throw a guard, or a few options?
Så hvis han laver den der, så er det hvis der er den anden vej, der skal han have et VB, ikke?
Mikael Kvist coming out to
Så
help.
kommer du helt derover, så spiller han dobbelt, og så er det game.
Played the
Og lægger når du der, så er det også game.
first
Men vi kan ikke
annual
bare, vi kan ikke.
World Mixed Championship for Denmark back in September.
Ja, for vi kan jo ikke bare lave indlægget, altså.
Well, everybody has their own opinion up there as well.
Det var bare lige for at få en... Skal du lægge ind i 12-fod, men så skal han noget. Så du kan have rulle der. Jeg tror, vi er nødt, fordi hvis, sådan som vi placerer garderne lige nu, hvis vi ikke dækker vores, så siger det bare godnat. Det var lige det, vi snakkede om også.
Mikael Kvist also
Jeg tror, vi skal spille midtjern for at få et
coach for the
hvor den ikke bare siger...
Danish women's team in the past, having coached them at the Olympic Winter Games back in Nagano in '98, as well as a handful of other championships.
Det er bare det, hvis du falder for langt nedad med rullet, så bliver det bare en kontakt, så skal han bare sidde, så skal han bare være i nærheden af pip. Så det er næsten bedre at lige rulle lidt for kort.
Denmark are forced to play the takeout on the red. I don't think I would like to leave it. If they threw a guard on it, I'm pretty sure Tom would just be able to play down off his own red and pick up the win that way. So they want to change the angle off that red a little bit and get it higher in the house. They can roll back towards the centre guard, and that would really leave a difficult last stone for Tom Brewster. Really close down the scoring area as well. Well, there's the whistle. Oh, I think that's a pretty perfect shot there by Rasmus Stjerna. So Tom Brewster won't be able to nose hit that one. Can he nose hit the other one to score shot here in the extra end? I'm not sure. So it doesn't look that way. It's either going to be a draw or a hit and roll required here for Scotland.
It's a good shot, actually.
Yeah, Tom Brewster
shows his appreciation for the quality of the shot played by Rasmus Stjerna.
He's done that a few times this week. Not always, well, sometimes all sarcastically, but I think he was quite honest here. He's realizing that he is forced to make a good one here. Is that the outturn hit and roll off the Yellowstone on the left-hand side of the forefoot?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Nose hit won't be good enough. They'll well need to check back towards the centre line.
So Tom Brewster's had a few games slip away from him this week, especially against Japan, where he had a whole peel to win, ended up over sweeping it. Got to make sure they're on the ball here with the sweeping call. Calling on Hammy Macmillan Jr. to carve this one in. Is it going to curl enough? I don't think so. It's going to roll too far, and Denmark will steal the game away from Scotland. A crucial win for the Danes as they're heading in towards the playoff stages. Scotland surely out of the playoff now.
I think that's been the story of the week so far for Scotland. Just too many key misses. Missed at least 2 shots to win a game, and Tom Brewster just overthrowing that one. And despite Hammy McMillan's best efforts.
Surprising though, Tom Brewster's made so many good shots this week to even get to a position to win games, and when he finally needs to pull the trigger to do it, he's not able to. Arguably the best shot of the week against Schuster when they made a double to force the game into an extra. Also not able to win that game, even with that great shot. Wow, lots of curling action this morning as we have 2 draws left. 2 o'clock this afternoon and 7 o'clock this evening to wrap up the round robin as we take a look at the scoreline for our future game, which was Norway-Canada. Norway really had chances in the first 5 ends, but couldn't quite capitalise, and Canada ended up winning.
Well, Norway against Canada here in draw 15, second end. Norway were looking good for a big score here. Kevin Cooey makes a great freeze, but Thomas Ulsrud with the nose hit manages to get the first deuce of the game on the board. And here in the third end, here's Kevin Cooey hitting back with probably the shot of the game. Lying 2 against, plays the hack weight bump on his own stone, redirects it off the wide one and into the 8 foot. And Canada get a deuce of their own, 3-2 to Canada. Then on to the fourth end, a chance here for another 2. Another super freeze by Kevin Cooey to get his Canadian team out of trouble. And Thomas Ulsrud trying to bump that Yellowstone back. Doesn't have the speed. And they get forced to the 1. Tied game after 4 ends. And then a couple of blank ends. A mistake by Thomas Ulsrud on the line call. Hits and rolls off that backstone and presents this opportunity for Kevin Cooey, which he of course converted to put another 2 on the board and create a bit of daylight between Canada and Norway. And probably the easiest shot of the game that Kevin Cooey had to throw was the last one. Leading by 2, coming home. And runs Norway out of stones in the 10th end to pick up their 9th win of the week. Final score, Canada 6, Norway 4.
Here are the other scores in the St. Jacobs Hall today. Like we just witnessed, we saw Denmark winning 7 shots to 6 over Scotland in an extra end. Finland dominating Russia 9 shots to 3. And USA also grabbing a win and 1 step closer to the playoffs with 8 shots to 6 over Korea. There you see Rasmus, Stjarne. They've been very emotional this week. It seems to have been more for them than anyone here. It might be because of the tough season they had last year. These are the standings so far. Canada now at 9 wins. We have Denmark and USA moving up to 7 wins. It's Japan, Sweden, Norway battling it out for the last spot in the playoffs, while Finland pretty much out of it at 5 wins. Switzerland and Scotland at 4, Russia at 2, Germany, Korea all the way down at 1 win. So off to maybe a touch of a rough start. Norway having a lot of chances to put some points up on the board. What did you make out of it?
Yeah, we got away with a couple ends there. They had us in trouble for sure, and you know, we made the shots to kind of get out of it with minimal damage, only down 1. And after that, we played better for sure. But you know, kind of similar to our game yesterday against Sweden, when it's tough for a team when you don't take advantage of your opportunities.
Certainly seemed like you were making the key shots. Did you get a pat on the back from your teammates after the game?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's team effort. It was a little frustrating the first half because not much was going our way. But you know, we all hung in there, and you know, once we got that 2, and I think the third end to get back up, I think that just gave us a little more confidence. So you put yourself into pole position now. How important is it for you to be ranked 1 and get Hammer into the 1-2 game? Yeah, it's nice. Anytime you get Hammer, it's a big advantage out here, and you know, I think we'll get Choice of Rocks, though I'm not exactly sure. But just it's nice to secure that. It's a tough field here, and you know, if you can get that extra life, it can't hurt. A loss to Norway now might put them out of the playoffs. Is that a team you like to knock off before the playoff stages? Yeah, I mean, there's lots of good teams. Obviously, we're pretty familiar with them, and they're a great team. And you know, we've lost to them quite a few times before. So you know, whatever happens. We'll have to be ready. But it wouldn't shock me to see them hanging around at the end. All right, thank you very much. Congratulations. Great, thank you.
Well, that's what we had for this morning draw. We'll have more curling action later today. We'll have Switzerland facing off against Norway in a crucial game at 2 o'clock local time. So join us again then.
Trying to nose it or you rolling out?
Oh, he's just freezing.
Hold on, Gonzam!
Ikke hvis du treffer den her.